What's up, guys? Episode 3, Samba the Stars. I'm here with John. I'm here with Pedro. You guys want to say what's up real quick?
Going on?
What's up? What's up, boys?
Pedro, you're new here. You want to introduce yourself and shout out your handle?
Of course. Well, first off, thank you, Chris. Thank you, John, for inviting me into the podcast. We're ready to talk about some football. My handle on Instagram is Pedro Talks Football. I just recently started it up. I pretty much just talk about the football news and whatever's going on in the football world. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bet. Let's get into it.
And
Let's go.
before we get started, I just want to say appreciate all the support the first 2 pods. We know the quality isn't the best. We're still new to this. So we appreciate every like, every subscriber. Comment down below what you guys think we should do for our next episode. And yeah, we'll get started off with the call up. I mean, this is what we're here for. Let me pull up a picture of the call up real quick.
Bro, low key, like 9 likes. Second most recent video. Loki been killing it.
Yeah. All right, you guys see the
Very interesting.
picture?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So let's get started here with goalkeepers. Allison, Ederson, Weberthon. The first 2 goalkeepers there, Allison, Ederson. Not really surprised. Then we have Weberthon getting in over Hugo Souza, over Bentu, and over maybe a couple other more deserving goalkeepers. What do you guys have to say about the goalkeeper position for Brazil, and who do you guys think is your starter for game 1?
I will say, when I first heard about the call up, or when I first heard that Weverton was getting called up, I was surprised. But then when I really slept on it, I realized I'm not surprised. Because realistically, the third goalkeeper is not going to play. Like, even if we got Hugo Souza or Bento, like, they're not going to play. So I guess you can get the more experienced guy that's going to bring more to the locker room. And these were the 3 goalies that got called up in 2022. I think even though Allison is coming off an injury, I think he's playing this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I still think he's going to be the starter.
Boys, I think you're missing the big picture here. Look at the graphic. Why does Vinny have the number 10? What is this? Why are you going to choose Vinny? Why are you going to put the number 10? Like, have you guys not noticed that?
Now that you said
I
it,
didn't make the graphic. I did not
Yeah.
make the graphic.
I know. BR football is just whatever. But anyways,
They know something.
that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, all right, come on, Neymar's the clear number 10 here. But anyways, talking about the keepers, I think that as of right now in the moment, Allison and Ederson are the most doubtful in the team, but they're not because they have the experience with the national team. I think their current moments right now, Allison coming back from injury, Ederson not having a good phase at Fenerbahce, does bring that question for the third keeper. He might be used more than we think. And I think if we put all of our chips on Bento, who just made a mistake deciding a title like last week, if we put our chips on Hugo Souza, who didn't have a good showing the night before Ancelotti picked the team and who was very young, I think I can read, and I agree with Ancelotti. I actually guessed it when I was reacting to the call up, because Weverton is the only other keeper who's played in the World Cup. He's played in the World Cup match. He played against Cameroon in 2022, and I honestly think it's not a bad choice.
Wait,
this
so
guy
you
has.
think,
What's up?
You think Ancelotti picked the third goalkeeper? So because I remember the day before the call up, it was Corinthians versus Botafogo. You think that's when he decided, like, I want like an older goalkeeper, more experienced?
Let me say something real quick, Pedro. I want to interrupt you because this is what
What's up?
I mentioned to you guys before the stream, before the pod. Weverton getting called up, it would not shock me at all if Weverton ends up becoming our starting goalkeeper at the World Cup. It sounds,
Of course.
insane.
Mhm.
Allison still hasn't played. I'm not sure, John. I'm not sure where you saw that he might play this week. He better play this weekend because it's the last game at Anfield, and he's going to go to Juventus this summer. So he better play. We don't know how he's going to come. We don't know how healthy his hamstring is. Ederson, horrible phase. He's only getting called up because he has the experience. But
Of course.
I think
Yeah.
Ancelotti, I thought Rafael would choose all 3 goalkeepers. I think Ancelotti came in and said, no, I'm picking Weverton. That game
Of course.
against Bahia right before the call-up, one of the best goalkeeper showings this year. It was a great game. Now, should Bahia have scored like 2 or 3 goals? Yes, they should have. They missed a lot of chances, but
Mhm.
Werverton was amazing that game. He could start. He could start.
Of
He
course.
won us our Olympics, so he won us basically our last relevant trophy because Brazilians don't care about Copa America.
Yeah,
It could end up being Weber throwing goal. Pedro, I don't know if you were going to say anything about this, but out of this entire list, this was the one thing I really wanted to say. Don't sleep on Weber starting, and I don't think
of
that's a
course. Yeah,
horrible. I don't think that's a horrible starting goalkeeper, honestly, at this point.
You think
yeah,
Ederson's the
I
third
agree.
goalkeeper option
Y-
out of
Yeah.
these three?
I
Hmm.
think so. Yes.
I think when we look back at March, I think March is very important. I think we picked Ederson as our first keeper against France. Um, I remember watching that
Terrible.
game. What we want from Ederson is a player that can play out the back, and what we saw from Ederson was a keeper that couldn't play out from the back and didn't have a good showing. One of Ederson's main issues from being a goalkeeper is he leaves his line a little too early. He's left his line too early in the Copa America 2021 final against Argentina, conceded the only goal from Di Maria, and he left his line too early against Mbappe in March. And in a game against France, in a game against Spain, Germany, England, the top nations, that's gonna hurt us. So I definitely think everybody had a say in Weverton. I think it was a great pick from Ancelotti. I think the Brazilian population, they can say what they want, but we're talking about one of the greatest managers of all time here. He's not picking this by chance. He's not picking this because he likes Weverton more than the other guys. He's picking Weverton because he has more experience with the national team. He's older, which is better, and he's had a pretty solid cycle. He's had a pretty solid 4 year cycle, and so looking at that, I think I actually like I said, I guessed it, and this was a great pick by Ancelotti.
I can agree. Yeah, like at first I was surprised, but when you really think about it, like it makes sense. It
Of
makes sense.
course,
It was a smart move.
100%.
Like Hugo Souza wasn't performing well. Like Bento, after what I
Hmm.
saw him on Al Nazar, I was like, no
Yeah,
way. To
exactly.
be honest, I never really liked Bento. Never. I never really
Bento
thought he
used to
was
be
good, to
good.
be honest.
Bento had a really good tenure at Atlético Paranaense, and
If,
like,
if you
you know what
guys
I'm talking about.
if you guys kept up with like my tweets back in the day, bro, I hyped up Bento as one of the
You're a huge supporter of
yeah.
Bento, right? You
I
love that
don't.
guy.
And
Hate
one
it,
thing I'll
dude.
say, does he deserve to go to the World Cup? Probably. With how Ederson and Allison hasn't been playing at all. But what I will say, he had his chance. I felt like this 4 year cycle was a chance for him to take the starting position. We saw Allison in 2018 and 2022. Not that any of that was his fault, but seeing him, we haven't won the World Cup. Um, and he
Hmm.
just didn't take his opportunity. So, uh, that being said, Allison Ederson was always a lock. That third goalkeeper position was in question. Um, anything else you guys
Of
want to say
course.
about
But
this
now
about
that we
this
think
group?
about it,
Go ahead.
I think, but
I
not.
did. Sorry, I did just search up, and it says Allison may be available this weekend. And I remember Ancelotti did state in the press conference that Allison has been training, so I think he'll be good for this weekend. Did I say Allison? I might have said Ancelotti.
No, 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 you said
What did
Allison.
I say?
You said
Oh, okay, cool.
Ancelotti
All right,
said
all right.
that he was training. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything else, Pedro?
Yeah, I mean, just final thoughts on everything. I think he was the call up that most confused the Brazilians. But he's the one, in my opinion, out of everybody that all the new names, all the unexpected names, that makes the most sense because of what we just said. And I think if we're talking to Souza, I think his time is going to happen right after the World Cup. I think Ederson's probably going to stop being called up. He's only being called up because of his experience. There's rumors of Hugo Souza going to Milan. I don't think that's a crazy rumor. He's a
Yeah.
great goalkeeper, and 4 more years of development. 2030, we could be looking at our starting keeper. All three goalkeepers are over 30
I agree.
and not living good to great phases. So I'd be more than happy to have Hugo Souza there at 2030. I think this is definitely something to take into account. But
Great pen stopper too. I like Hugo Souza.
exactly,
I'm a big Hugo Souza fan.
exactly, dude. He's great. He has personality, so he has the desire.
So let me wrap this up. So we talked about goalkeepers. One last thing I want to add. Uh, this cycle, unfortunately, there was no youngster that really came up too. After Bento had left, I was really happy on Mikael. I thought Mikael was probably one of the best prospects, goalkeeper prospects I have ever seen, honestly. Uh, ends up getting benched at Lechiku. And we also had Pedro Morisco recently, Curitiba, who has actually been playing well and could have maybe stolen that third spot, but he's out for a little bit, so he wasn't in the question at all. So with that being said, none of these three goalkeepers will get called up past this World Cup, I believe, and I think it's time to build on from these three.
Maybe Allison as a second, but I think
He
that's
wouldn't
like
accept
pushing
that.
it.
He
you
would
know?
not accept that. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me obviously if he still gets caught up like post 2026, 2027. Just
Of
getting
course.
into 2030, we have to move on. Let's go on to defenders. We have Wesley, Marquinhos, Danilo, Alexandro, Gabriel Magalhães, Ibanez, Léo Pereira, Douglas Santos, and Bremer. I want to just talk about just the center backs first, and then we'll move on
Yeah,
to the
there we go.
fullbacks.
Of course.
Just the center backs. I'll speak on it first. Marquinhos, Gabriel, two top 5 center backs in the world, in my opinion.
Easy.
That being said, I would have liked to see someone else in for Danilo. I think Danilo is the backup center back as well, correct? Is Léo Pereira and Danilo. Can we agree on that? And Ibanez is right back.
Wait, I'm sorry to cut
Yeah.
you off. You
Yeah.
think Marquinhos is a top 5 center back in the world right now?
Of course.
Yes, sir. He's had an incredible season.
Champions League winning center back.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Champions League winning center back. Yeah. Captain. 100%.
He's been exposed a few times. I like him, but I don't think he's top 5.
So I'll say this: Luis Diaz did kill him a little bit in that UCL game. But that's Luis Diaz.
That's Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's been top 5, top 7 in the world. He should be top 5 Ballon d'Or, in my opinion, over Elise. I think so. That's just my opinion.
If they win the Champions League, they gotta win the Champions League and they gotta have a good World Cup run.
Yeah. But
his performances under the national team have been a little questionable too.
100%. The penalty miss in 2022.
Well, we
yeah,
can't blame.
He didn't play well in the Croatia game. He didn't step up. I think he could have made a difference. If he
Are we
stepped up
talking
a
about this
little bit
recent? Are
earlier.
we talking about this recent Croatia game or in the World Cup?
No,
the last
World
one.
Cup
World
game.
Cup.
Like he could have stepped up a little bit earlier.
I agree.
And
But
when you're a top 5 center back like that, I feel like you should know when to step up and when not to step
I
up.
agree. I agree. Just the thing is, if you can't just pick out that Croatia game. That's just like an anomaly. Honestly, we shouldn't count that game at all because that game should have been put away. That being said, Marquinhos, I said it in a previous episode, historic player we're talking about here. Whether you like him or not, he's going to end up being the most winningest player of all time. And I really do think that no one will pass him. No one will pass him for a very long time. For an extremely long time. Especially because we won't see a guy at PSG for that long. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And if they win the UCL here, he's not. I don't think he's first. I think he's second or third. He's gonna pass Messi. Messi might win, another trophy in MLS, but we'll move on from that. Let's not, Gabriel obviously is gonna face Marquinhos in the UCL final. So do we agree that Léo Pereira and Danilo are the 2 backup center backs, or do you guys see Ibanez as a backup center back?
Bremer. I think.
Bremer. I'm completely missing Bremer. I'm so sorry. I'm complete. So let's take Danilo out the picture. He got called up as
a fullback.
Well, he got called up as like a leader. He's not gonna see the field.
A joker.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So what I thought was interesting about Ancelotti's call up was we have the base. We have the 4 center backs. We have Marquinhos, Gabriel. We have Bremer, and then we have
Léo Pereira.
That 4th Léo Pereira. Yeah. And we were going to have Eder Militão, like he played at the World Cup, a center back, right back kind of mix, because Eder Militão did play that earlier in his career. I liked how Ancelotti had the courage to call up Roger Ibanez because he has the same profile, so that's very valuable to have, as well as Danilo. So we have 2 players here that have both played at center back and right back. I think that's very important to have those. Like in Portuguese, obviously we call them the coringas, we call them the versatile players, the jokers, and I think we have more of those down the line that we're going to talk about later. But I do like how Ancelotti did this. Again, he's not Ancelotti for no reason. I think also that there could be a possibility of Léo Pereira being tested at left back since he is left-footed. As much as that's a crazy take, I don't I wouldn't be surprised because nowadays we see, with Arsenal just won the Premier League. They had Calafiori, they had the two center backs, and then they had like a Tomiyasu or a Ben White or other center backs. So like right now it's kind of like a trend, playing four center backs.
You don't think
And
we could have done that with someone like Beraldo or Murilu instead of Léo Pereira?
I like Beraldo.
Yeah.
I like Beraldo. I think Beraldo. I think 2030 is also going to be his year.
Yep.
I think if Enrique stays 4 more years at PSG, this guy's going to be one of his best players. He's been testing him at not only at center back but left back, CDM. This guy's going to be an insanely versatile player. Did he make the pre-list?
Oh,
He did. No, he didn't. I don't think
no.
he did.
Exactly.
Ronaldo,
Yeah,
I
he
don't think
didn't.
he did.
Exactly. But I'm confident that after this cycle, it's going to be Vitor Reis, Beraldo, and so on and so forth. So, anyways, but talking about this call-up, I do like that back line looking like Gabriel on the left center back, Marquinhos right center back, Ibanez right back,
Mhm.
and possibly Douglas Santos left back. I did not like his two left back choices.
What about
Why?
Wesley? You don't think Wesley starts?
Wesley's not going to start at left back. Wesley would start at left mid if we put it 3-back. But I think if we need to be more attacking, if we're playing a Haiti, if we're playing Scotland, or if we're playing a game that we need to be attacking, I think Wesley will be there. But I don't know. It's going to be between Wesley and Ibanez, depending on the style of play Ancelotti wants
We'll
to
get
develop.
to that. We'll get to that. We have a lineup builder thing we'll do after, so
Yeah,
we'll get to
of
that.
course.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're on a
Yeah.
time crunch.
Yeah.
Bet.
No, we're not on.
Mhm.
We're not
Yeah,
on time crunch. We're not
honestly-
on time crunch really, but yeah.
This is a
I'm
podcast.
not surprised. I'm not surprised with the center back call-ups. I think it was very conservative by Ancelotti, but it does really piss me off, man, that Thiago Silva is not on the list. It really
Unfortunately.
does piss me off. And here's what I'll say. Chris, I think you remember in the last video,
Mhm.
I was really hating on Danilo, Alexandro, and Léo Pereira. I was hating on these Flamengo guys. But Ancelotti said something really important in the press conference that the Brazilian league, they play like a really like hard schedule. Like they're always on the road. They're playing in really tough altitudes, tough weather. Like these guys
hardest.
will be in great shape to play in a World Cup tournament where you're playing every 3 days and traveling a lot. I feel like in
Mhm.
Europe, like it's
Well,
not as
well,
intense as playing in Brazil.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't agree with that though because each game is gonna be like every 6 days, right? I could be
No,
completely wrong.
Is it? No, I think that the group stage is every 3.
No, I think it's the 13th. I don't know. You guys take a look, but
I'm checking right now. Oh, it might be it might be
Because
so
of all the
13 it is
extra
every 6
groups,
days.
yeah?
So I'm
Yeah.
wrong there.
No,
Huh?
but you
Yeah.
make a point. You still make a point. I understand where you're coming from. It just in this certain scenario, it doesn't really.
But dude, it's still a lot of games. Like what is it? 8 games, like 8 games, plus
Yeah.
the friendlies. What is it? 10
mm-hmm.
possible
Yeah,
games.
in a 1 month, 1.5 month space. Yeah, I do agree
Yeah,
with that.
like that's a lot, and I feel like these guys from Flamengo. I think a big reason why Ancelotti called them up first, like experience, obviously, and I think
Safety.
these guys are like used to this type of like intensity.
Mhm.
Because you see a lot of guys, man, in the World Cup, they just fold, man. They just fold, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
because of like skill or anything. I just think they're not used to that type of
Weather,
intensity.
pressure.
Yeah, it could be that too. Yeah, but there's a lot of factors that play into it, and I think these
Mhm.
older guys like Alexandro Danilo, as much as I hate him, man, I think they're gonna make a difference if
What-
they get put in.
One thing I want to
Mhm.
say really quickly. I agree with everything you said. I don't mind Léo Pereira being in the squad, honestly. Just what's really concerning me right now is that left back position with Douglas Santos and Alexandro. Bro, Alexandro cannot see the field against Haiti or another team like that. Scotland, he could play against Scotland. Scotland don't have any scary wingers, but dude, when we get to that Japan, even a Japan, uh,
Norway.
Norway, even who do they have at wing?
Senegal.
They have like
Anybody.
they have new
Anybody.
yeah. He just can't do it physically, and it's Douglas Santos as well.
I'm worried.
He's just average at best. I think
Léo Pereira left back, bro.
it
Watch.
could be.
Watch. I think the left back position is what pissed me off the most about Ancelotti's call-up.
Yeah.
I definitely think the best left back in Brazil was left out. Goes by the name of Kaique Bruno. literally the best left back statistically speaking, defensively and offensively.
I thought you told me
Last
Juba.
year.
You like
Juba's way better, bro.
And Juba.
Juba's way
But
better.
Kayiki was. But if we're talking, well, for the statistic, if we're talking to the Sofa score guys,
Mhm.
Kayiki was the best left back in Brazil, not named Reinaldo. And the only reason Reinaldo was even considered better, the only reason he was the team of the tournament or team of the championship was because he took free kicks and penalties. If you remove his free kicks and penalties,
Ronaldo
Kayiki
isn't
Bruno was
even
the best
really a left back
year.
anymore, right? He like plays all over the field.
I don't
He's like
even
a
know,
10.
dude.
He's like a 10. Yeah.
Exactly. He takes free kicks and takes penalties. But if
Yeah.
you take that off, if we're talking about purely being a left back, the best left back is left in Brazil. And the
Bro, you
second
know what
best
else
left
I can
back,
see,
Luciano
though?
Juba, was also left in Brazil.
You know what else I can see, which I would not be surprised? I'm feeling like an 80-minute field kick goal from Leo Pereira.
Free
I
kick
can
out.
Free
feel it.
kick, yeah.
Like, bro, I would not be surprised. Like, I don't like him, but he takes pretty good free kicks.
Well,
He takes
David
pretty good free
Luiz.
kicks. And,
David Luiz,
yo,
yeah.
the thing about the left back position, like,
I have,
I'm not gonna lie.
I have a question about that real quick.
Sandro,
John, I'm sorry. I have a question about that real quick. 80th
Yeah.
minute. Free kick on the edge of the box. Neymar and Leo Pereira on the field.
Neymar.
Yeah.
Rafinha.
One thing about Rafinha,
Probably Neymar.
one thing about Rafinha, he's
Probably
good at
Neymar.
free kicks, but he takes so many. He takes so many of them, so he's bound to score.
Might as well be
goals.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know, bro. Give it to Allison, bro. Allison free kicks. Dude, that'll
Alright.
never happen.
Talking midfield now?
But do you think Douglas Santos' performances under Ancelotti have been bad? Like, I don't think they've been
No.
bad, but I don't think
No,
they've
no.
been like, great.
They haven't been bad, and he's done his role. He's done his role, and he's done his role good enough, mediocre enough to like get. You can't call up Douglas Santos all these games and leave him out of the list. So, in my opinion, Douglas Santos was more of a lock than Alexandro. Even though Alexandro has been, I don't think he went in 2018, did he? I could be wrong.
Alexandro?
I don't think Alexandro went in 2018.
I'll tell you
I
right
don't
now.
know. I'll tell you what though, the Flamengo media machine is at it again, dude. I
Yeah.
think if Alexandro was still in Europe, he wouldn't have gotten called up.
Yeah.
I think that's just obvious.
I
Everybody
think a
knows that.
safe pick would have been Carlos Augusto from Inter, which, by the way, what we've done to
We
him.
haven't seen him in like 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. But what we've done to him is kind of unfair, man, because I think he would have chose Italy at this point. We called him up for what?
Should have.
One
One in break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had Kawi Hiki too, who hasn't seen the Brazil squad in a while too, but I felt like they would have both been a little bit more safe.
No, it's just average. I mean, like, especially now, like, we're talking about the final World Cup squad. It has to be players that Ancelotti at least, like, is somewhat familiar with, unless they're insane exceptions.
So
you know?
I have a question about that. Do you believe that it's more important to have players that are good physically or players with experience and who the manager is familiar with?
Both.
That's a great question.
But you don't get both
balance.
with Alexandro. That's the issue.
So we need a good balance with this. Like we were talking about Weverton, what he doesn't have with the relationship with Ancelotti, he has an experience, he has winning titles, and he's played a World Cup before. And so that's what got him ahead of players like Hugo Souza, who did play under Ancelotti, but don't have the Brazil experience, don't have the World Cup experience. When we're talking left backs, we're talking Alexandro. Alexandro played at Juve for 10 or 11 years, played for Flamengo, I think it's been second or third year. And we're also talking about the dressing room impact. Why? Because Ancelotti, unlike most managers, really listens to the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
He's a player's manager. He's not a Xabi Alonso. He's not a tough, strict system guy. So he listens. Yeah, exactly. He listens to the players. And like he said in his press conference, he listens to ex-players. He listens to current players. He listens to everybody. And the ex-players, well, first off, talking about Danilo, they really wanted Danilo to be there. They wanted Danilo for his leadership. We're talking Alexandro. I think there was definitely some impact, especially from Danilo, especially from other ex-Flamengo players, maybe Wesley, or maybe Bremer, who did play with Alexandro. We're talking about players who have had impact and who have the leverage to give advice on what they think. Maybe he asked Neymar, Neymar, what do you think about Alexandro? Or ask like a Flamengo manager, or ask, the people in high rankings. He even asked the president about what he thought. So what's going to keep him away from asking the players? What's going to keep him away from asking everybody on their opinions? So I think coming to this list, I think some other names in here that we're talking about, that they should be categorized into that. Oh, the players really like this guy, so he should be here.
Yo, it's also huge that I don't know if you guys. I think you guys knew that Danilo played center back and right back, but did you guys also know he played left back too? Like he literally plays everything.
He's
like
a jockey.
Worst case
He's a
scenario,
joker.
Danilo.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had a bad performance this past weekend.
Can I say this? Danilo only played left back in 2022 because Alexander was that bad. And Militão
was it why?
And Militão was better. It was better than Danilo at right back. And
So you even think Alexander's going to play?
Well, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. The only reason we lost that game against Croatia is because Militão was off the pitch because he wasn't fully healthy. But that's just my opinion. Like, people blame Fred. People blame Pedro. I just think I'm not.
It's hard to blame in that situation.
I'm not blaming Militão for being injured, but the reason why I think we lost that game was because Militão was off the pitch.
Yeah, but when does he not get injured, bro?
Yeah,
like, that guy's always injured.
That's a big issue.
I wouldn't even call. I forgot
2 back-to-back ACLs.
Yeah.
Never calling him up ever again.
I had made a tweet saying that
he's a great center back. He's a great defender.
I made a tweet saying that Militão actually be like our X factor at the World Cup because he was going to play a really
100%.
important role, bro. But
yes,
let's just try and move on from defenders. Before we do, what grade would you give the entire defender list, A through F?
B.
Yeah, B solid.
B.
I think maybe even lower. If we're talking fullbacks, I think John posted it. I think a C because none of these guys are proven. If Militão was there, I think it could drag it up into like a C plus, a B minus. But we're talking Wesley has, I think, 5 or 6 games at most. I remember his first game against Colombia when he first came in. Everybody's raving about him. Oh, Wesley. I don't know if you guys remember during the qualifiers, but and then he had a really bad game against Tunisia where everybody's like, "Yo, Wesley, get out!" So he's a very high and low type of guy. I think against France he did a good job marking Mbappe, so much so that he actually switched flanks. But Wesley's probably the best name out of these 4 for being serious.
I agree. I agree. I'm not arguing that.
Let's talk midfield.
All right, midfield, we have Casemiro, Bruno Guimarães, Fabinho, Lucas Paquetá, Danilo Santos. Now, before we talk about the midfielders, a lot of people who aren't familiar, a lot of maybe American fans, whatever, they look at the midfield list, they only see 5 names. They're like, what happened there? I think Cunha is going to be a quote-unquote midfield. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But historically, Brazil hasn't needed much midfielders. And if we're being completely honest, there isn't a guy, not that Brazil don't have enough talent, because we have guys like Breno Bidon, Ederson.
Breno Bidon, oh, so good.
I'm missing a couple other names here. I'm blanking on names, but we have other guys that could have gone.
Andre is very good.
Andre,
is a good player.
João Gomes too, but they got relegated.
Yeah, Andre.
Besides the point.
Yeah.
Which Andre? Andre from Wolves or Andre Santos?
Yeah, from Wolves.
Wolves, yeah. And then
he played. I think he was been called up like 9 different times during the cycle, but it's just very bad PR to call up a player who's been relegated and leave somebody like a Fabinho or a Lucas Paquetá at home.
Yeah. So with this list right here, it's obvious for everyone that Casemiro and Bruno Guimarães are going to be the starters. Not much discussion
2
there.
most obvious names,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And then we have Danilo. A lot of people are not familiar with him. There's a lot of names on this list.
I like him.
There's a lot of names on this list that they're going to surprise some people. We'll get to attackers real quick too. There's a name I'm eyeing. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. But Danilo Santos, when he gets onto the field, people are going to be shocked. This guy's good, man. This guy's really good. His even without the goal against Croatia, he played a perfect game. A perfect game. And then he's
hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry. I actually saw a video today of the guy talking about how we need hungry dogs. He said hungry dogs. We need
Santos.
No, Luiz Enrique too. I think Luiz
Oi,
Enrique,
We'll,
bro.
boa
we'll,
noite.
we'll,
Será que vai ter gol do Ryan hoje?
we'll get to attackers. We'll get to attackers, but there's certain
Yeah.
guys that are just hungry, and Danilo Santos is. You can tell he's way more hungry than Lucas Paquetá. Now, Lucas Paquetá, I want to hear you guys' opinion. He was probably the
Oof.
controversial pick. Um, in my opinion, I think he represents what Brazil kind of want to do. Tabelas, all of this. And we need runners. Here's the thing: he can unlock a low block, and not only that, when we're countering, and it could be late, second half. Lucas Paquetá won't start a game, I don't think. But second half, we need
Yeah, I
we need
agree.
someone to make that pass to Vinny, to whoever. It could be Lucas Paquetá. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Pedro, I saw your face. I don't think you liked what I said.
Paquetá is the player's player. The example I was given about Alexander and Danilo, I think it applies the most to Paquetá
Yeah.
because he played in the 2022 World Cup, number 7 at the 2022 World Cup. He's the player's player. He's the one who's dancing with them in the locker room, dancing with them after they score, and so I think that has a huge part to play here. Um, and my pick when I made my video for my midfield was, what I would have changed. I had Casemiro, Bruno Guimarães. Instead of Fabinho, I had Gerson and Matheus Pereira, and then Danilo Santos. What happens is Gerson has had a very bad year in terms of career decisions. His dad obviously got him over in the plane to Russia, and that destroyed whatever credibility he had with the Brazilian national team. I would have loved to see him there. He was a starter for the Brazilian national team in 2023, 2024, captain for Flamengo at the Club World Cup, and that all came burning down. I think he would still be able to play. He's a great player. And in terms of Matheus Pereira, we're talking about a one of one player in Brazil. We're talking about a guy who, okay, some people say doesn't show up in big games, but I think a guy that could have made a difference here. But he just didn't have that World Cup experience. He didn't have that PR. He didn't have ele não tinha esse moral. He didn't have that what do we call it? The respect not respect, the moral respect of the players in the national team.
Yo, so would you guys pick someone else over Lucas Paquetá? Like, if you had to
Matheus
pick
Pereira.
someone else, who would it be?
Matheus Pereira.
Chris, what about you?
Is Matheus Pereira a biased pick or?
Maybe.
Somewhat, but he has been performing well. He's been performing better than Paquetá.
But
Paquetá took a while to get going.
My only issue with choosing Pereira over Lucas Paquetá is the fact that Pereira would have to be more of a 10 and Lucas Paquetá can play an 8. You know what I mean?
Yo, to
Exactly.
be honest, I think Paquetá was chosen just because of his past experience with guys like Rafinha, Vinny, Neymar.
Exactly.
Like, these guys already have
Panela,
chemistry.
porra. Panela.
Yeah, bro, like these guys, and that's obviously I don't think he should be a starter, but there is a small chance that he's a starter just because of the chemistry he has with these guys. Bro,
Never know.
I wouldn't put it past Ancelotti, bro. I
don't think so.
I would not be surprised.
So
I wouldn't put it past him either.
let me go
If
back
he
a
wants to
little
play three
bit.
midfielders.
Let me go back a little bit to what Pedro was saying. Gerson actually played a really big role in this cycle, man. And for a lot of people actually thought that maybe it could have been Casemiro and Gerson together. Maybe even Casemiro, Bruno, Gerson. I think now Danilo Santos, he plays that Gerson role. And I think that Ancelotti really, really likes him a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
I think
great player.
these past two friendlies have shown a lot to Ancelotti, and he cares. He wants the people who actually want to be there and actually wants to win this hexa. He wants those guys there on the field. I think Paquetá, he's gonna have his playing time. I don't think he should get in over Danilo at whatever point. It's also different situations. You know what I mean? Like, if we're up, if we need a goal, you know what I mean? So it's all situational football. Go ahead. Sorry.
I could even see them starting like 3 midfielders. I can see it being Casemiro as a CDM and Bruno Guimarães and Danilo both playing up as center mids. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe even Paquetá. Like, there's a lot that they can do. They don't have that many options, but I would not be surprised if Danilo, Casemiro, and Bruno are all on the pitch at the same time.
So for our American viewers watching, what I mentioned 2 seconds ago was panela. Panela is a word, is a term, is an idiom you can't really translate, but it basically means that a certain group of players who are all friends with each other, they just want to keep it that way. They don't want anybody new to enter the team. I think we're gonna see the case with another player we're gonna mention as part of the forwards. He was so good that he was actually able to break through this. He was able to break through that kind of invisible barrier that the players set in the dressing room. I think when we're talking about these 26 players, that's incredibly important to take account, especially because these guys, some of these guys have been playing with each other for the whole decade.
So
Some of these guys have played various World Cup cycles.
I want you to talk a little bit more about that. When Ancelotti first got hired, it felt like the first slog to the World Cup, regardless of what happened, was Casemiro. And Casemiro was a big part.
I'm glad. He saved them.
Casemiro's a big part of that panela inside the locker room. And we got to be real. This is a generation of losers. Casemiro,
Yeah.
Neymar, honestly, because
Yeah.
although Neymar, he won us our first gold medal, I think that holds such a great importance. I don't want to get too much in that, but we have guys like Danilo as well, who's in my opinion the biggest loser of them all. Danilo, who talked really badly
Yeah.
about the Brazilian fans. Look who has joined.
Dude, my bad. I'm sorry.
Say what's up.
Life got in
With
the
an
way.
Italy jersey too, bro. Come on, we Ancelotti.
Dude, it was the first thing I could put on, dude. My bad.
Say what's up to the viewers real quick.
How's it going, everyone? My
We're
apologies, I'm
currently on
joining midway
midfield.
through, but heard that. Midfield, okay.
Do you wanna like give us like a quick like
No, hold on.
summary of what you thought of goal? What?
No, hold on. We'll get to the attackers. Jared here is the USMNT fan of our podcast, so he gives us an unbiased opinion on things, and so I think
Sure.
this is a perfect time to talk about the forwards here.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back to the full list. So forwards: Mateus Cunha, Luis Henrique, Gabriel Martinelli, Endrick, Neymar Jr., Rafinha, Ryan, Igor Thiago, and Vinicius Jr. I wanna start with Jared real quick. When you see that attack, do you think it compares to a attack like France? Does that attack scare you at all? What do you think from an outsider looking in, from a guy who maybe hasn't watched any of Brazil's friendlies, who probably doesn't know who Luis Henrique is, who maybe doesn't know too much about Igor Thiago? What do you think about that group of players?
Honestly, I think I don't think it's as good as France's attack, but I certainly do think it's one of the best forward groups at the tournament. I think it's up there. I don't know if there's any better than aside from France. Obviously, the big talking point here is going to be João Pedro missing out. Maybe we'll get into that. But maybe we'll get into that. But honestly, looking at this forward group, especially as I'm assuming Brazil's going to play like a sort of positionless front four, it's looking pretty dangerous. It's looking pretty scary. I'll let y'all get your opinions out though.
Before we do, I did want to really quickly. I want us to just watch Neymar getting called up. The exact moments. Let's see here. Let me know if that pops up on your
Right
guys'
before
screen.
he posted a betting announcement. Right before he
Was it
he
actually?
posted a betting sponsor. Yeah. The first thing he posted on the story was a betting sponsor, dude. That's like the worst part about all this.
Is
So good. Oh, what a smart guy, bro.
is
That's
this
awesome.
on? Is this on your guys'
Dude, no,
screen?
I'm sorry. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. You can play it.
All right, so I'm gonna play this real quick. Just see the reaction of the people. There was obviously reporters and a lot of important people at this call up. A few fans too, but mostly a lot of important people who maybe should keep the composure during a call up. But in Brazil, man, this call up, honestly, just all over the world, this call up was probably bigger than the UCL final. Honestly, there was more hype about this call up than there is about the
Yeah.
UCL final.
Yeah.
So let me
Oh,
just
100%.
click
Because Arsenal's
play.
there.
Yeah. Let's click play real quick. And yeah, let's hear the crowd's reaction. I don't know if you guys can hear, but
Mateus
You
Cunha,
can hear.
Manchester United. Neymar Jr. Santos.
so this is
Embarrassing,
the
dude. Embarrassing.
this
Nothing's
is
been
the
won. Nothing's been won. Stop really freaking out. Pissing me off. Pissing me
this,
off. Dead
this is
ass, bro.
the CBF stream, so we didn't see um like
Everything.
everyone's reactions, but what did you guys think about Neymar getting called up before anything else? I should have asked Jared too, but that was the biggest talking point probably in football this week. What do you guys have to say about Neymar? Did you guys want Neymar in the call up?
Bro, yes. I wanted him
Obviously.
to call up. I wanted him to call up, but like, alright, bro, like when they called his name, like everyone acted like they just won a World Cup. Like, bro, the job's not finished. Like, why are we celebrating like we just won the World Cup? Like, I'm sorry, bro. Embarrassing.
I got an
Like,
answer.
nothing's been done. We don't even know if he's gonna play. Embarrassing, bro. In my opinion. I
If
was
we're
like,
talking-
yay, but like, I wasn't like yelling like off
Yeah.
the top of my lungs.
Of course. If we're talking Neymar's call up, this is the biggest secret of the World Cup. The CBF, they try to keep it as hidden as possible, as mysterious as possible for the longest time they could. What happens when he gets called up is you unveil not only the third biggest player in the last generation, but you also unveil the biggest product in world football right now. The biggest national team, the only national team with 5 stars on their chest, as well as the player, the top scorer, the defining our franchise player, but like our top player, and our product. As much as we're living in an era where footballers are the product. We're having Messi going to the World Cup promoting new boots, his brands. We're having Ronaldo going to the World Cup with shining gold cleats, trying to sell Nike's cleats, where he's trying to sell his brand. And Neymar is trying to do the same thing. Neymar's trying to do the same thing. CBF is trying to do the same thing because they realize, when is the next time are we going to have a player this mediatical, this big in the eyes of the media? When are we going to have the next player that has 230 million Instagram followers? When are we going to have the next player that's that big of an impact on the whole world? I'm sorry, but Neymar in this generation is the second most respected player behind Cristiano Ronaldo. If you look at the current professional players, Desiree Doué, Musiala, Nico Williams just posted on his story a Neymar edit. A top Spanish player just posted a Neymar edit. Like Yamal, the biggest name in world football in Europe right now, is a diehard Neymar fan. He does not mention Messi once. He mentions Ronaldo more than he mentions Messi. So Neymar is the second biggest brand in football right now. And when we're talking about this World Cup, it's him and Ronaldo. Everybody either wants, I'm an Italy fan. I support Italy. Oh, Italy's not going to the World Cup. Oh, I want Brazil to win. Oh, I want Portugal to win. Oh, I'm from Bangladesh. Oh, I'm from India. I don't care about my country. My country's not going to the World Cup. I want Brazil to win. I want Portugal to win. We're talking about the 2 biggest names right here. Messi, we're not talking about Messi in that same regard because he won the 2022 World Cup. But those 2, that's why people are celebrating. Because the biggest product of our generation is going to the World Cup. It's the biggest mystery.
John, you got something going on with your mic there. I think you have to click the same settings. I might be mistaken. It could be you or someone else, but
Yeah, you got some static. Yeah,
Is it mine?
yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
You had
yeah.
disconnected.
What the fuck?
You had disconnected and you reconnected, and now it's like kind of messed up.
Hold on.
So just to hop on to what you were saying, I think Neymar, since the beginning, he was a log to go to the World Cup. All he had to do was be able to just run, and
Be fit.
yeah. I think like these players, they want to play for Neymar, and I think we could do not the exact recipe Argentina did in 2022, but something similar to where it's like it's this guy's
We
last
need to
World
get
Cup.
close to that.
It's this guy's last World Cup. He probably won't be respected if he doesn't bring this home. A lot of politics, a lot of other things going on with that call up too. So I don't want to really spend too much time on Neymar. Jared, did you did you have any opinions on Neymar? Do you think he could still make an impact from what you've seen? I know there's been a couple like fail comps that have gone viral from Neymar at Santos, so I'm not sure if you've ever seen that.
de 2002 eu tive sonho muito louco.
Do you think
No,
Jared could, Jared? Do you think Neymar can have that C effect or?
I certainly think so, right? I mean, I think, like you said, these players want to play for, like, Neymar's such a big name, that these players are gonna want to play for him, whether he's on the field or not. Obviously, he vibes well with the entire team. I also think it shouldn't be understated how good Neymar has been for Brazil at basically every tournament, but especially the past 3 World Cups. He has been absolutely unreal.
Quick question about
Um,
that. There's been not an agenda. I don't know what the correct word for this, but there's been like this thing on Twitter where people have been saying that Neymar actually hasn't been that great for Brazil, and then they mention also that Brazil's only Copa America or only major tournament since he's been playing for Brazil is that Copa America where he wasn't there. Uh,
They faced Peru in the final, dude. Like, come on.
yeah.
yeah, it was.
So,
Like,
Jared, like, do you think it's like, well, what do you think about like Neymar not winning a Copa America, not winning World Cup yet? Do you think that impacts his legacy at all? Just from an outsider, because I want us, me, John, and Pedro, we're the Brazilians. We kind of have like more of an idea of this, but where do you see him?
Yeah.
And do you see him in top 3? Do you see him as a better footballer than maybe Cristiano?
So I think it's gonna be similar to how Argentinians people saw Messi. Like, I mean, before the 2022 World Cup, I feel like I'd say most people accepted that Messi was the greatest of all time. But I have a lot of Argentinian friends that said that, like, yeah, we think Messi's the GOAT, but he's also like, he's not gonna lace Maradona's boots, right? He's not a god to us in the same way that Maradona is, right? And a lot of people still held Maradona a higher standard than Messi. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I would assume it's, for Neymar to kind of be in that tier of legendary status as, R9 and Pele and, Dino and the greats that won World Cups in the past for Brazil. I think on the outside looking in, I think a lot of people respect the hell out of Neymar, right? I think almost everyone outside of Brazil accepts that Neymar is probably the 3rd best player of our generation. I don't think many people look at Neymar not winning a tournament for Brazil as they don't look at that as much as they did with Messi and Ronaldo, because Neymar was so good at every single tournament, whereas there were question marks about Messi and Ronaldo at those tournaments. So, and like I said, I don't think anyone, whatever happens with Neymar and Brazil at this tournament, I don't think it's going to really put a blemish on his career from the outside looking in.
Pedro,
Jared, can I ask you a question real quick? Can I ask you a
what's up?
question? Do you think, like, from an outsider, do you think Neymar is well respected in Brazil compared to like Messi is to Argentina and Ronaldo is to Portugal? Do you think it's
let's
like
see
the
if you
same
know
way?
ball.
If you're asking me what I think, I would like to say he is. I would like to think he is. But I have no clue.
He
I don't have an
doesn't
idea.
he doesn't
You'd be
know
surprised,
he
bro.
doesn't know about like the politics
Yeah.
of Brazil. A lot of it is politics. I just don't want to get into that
Yeah.
A lot of it is.
at all. I think also
Yeah.
what doesn't help him is half of the population, which would be the females, they don't like Neymar at all. They call him a cheater, stuff like that. You'll see it all over Twitter. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I want
Yeah.
Pedro. I want you to piggyback off what Jared said. I want to ask you a question. Do you think Neymar will be looked at in Pele and that kind of ranking, or as a Zico? We know there's a huge difference
If he wins the World Cup?
If he doesn't win the World Cup, because we know how
If he
great
doesn't win the World
we
Cup,
know how great he's been. We also know that the past 3 World Cups haven't been great. I mean, people say our best chance was 2018. I don't think so. I didn't think 2018. I think 2022 was. I think now 2026 is actually our best chance. I'll get a little bit more into that with the entire roster, but I want you to answer that. Do you think he'll be held at a higher regard than Zico, even if he doesn't win the World Cup?
let's get one thing straight then when we're talking about that question. Neymar is the highest. He is the Brazilian all-time top scorer. While doing it with one of the weakest Brazilian sides that we've ever seen. We're talking 2014. We're talking carrying Brazil for years on years on years. Especially in 2022, I think 2022 is a very important point to highlight because Brazil had such a good team. You just had Vini coming off the Champions League, Militão, and so on and so forth. And still, Neymar carried that team. I think in my personal ranking, you can call it bias, you can call it whatever you want. I think it's just Pelé and Neymar. I don't think Ronaldinho goes up there. I don't think Ronaldo goes up there simply because of the fact that when these guys reached the latter stage of their careers, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anywhere as well as Neymar. Now, Neymar gets the back end of the stick because he lives in the social media generation. Everything he does is photographed. Everything he does is videographed. And the media has a very, very politicized agenda against him. We saw this in Brazil. We saw this with a lot of journalists. I think something very important we also have to talk about is, or when we were talking about, or the question you asked Jared was, what I noticed talking to my family members, family friends, and everybody else. Everybody who watches football, I'm talking everybody who watches football to some extent, they play it, they watch it, they have a team. Everybody who watched football wanted Neymar in the World Cup. The only people who didn't want Neymar in the World Cup don't watch football, they only keep up with the Brazilian media stars, or they have a politicized agenda. They don't watch the game. Simple.
Yeah.
They were paid to have an opinion. We're talking about journalists here. And so I think him going through all that and still getting called up to a World Cup at 34 years old, something with which Romario never did, Ronaldo never did, Pelé never did, no other Brazilian legend has ever done, or no Brazilian attacking legend has ever done. Neymar's the first to do so. I think that weighs in a lot more. I think that makes him better than Zico. I think that only doesn't make him undoubtedly better than Romario, R9, and those guys because they have a World Cup over him. But if Neymar at 34 years old, the final could be his last ever match. Have you guys thought about that? If Neymar wins the World Cup in his last ever game, that will be the most iconic end to a player's career in history. In history. Nobody will ever come close. Neymar's agenda in becoming second in everything, second to Messi, second to Mbappe, second in the World Cup, third best of his generation, and ending it with a World Cup win. Let's say he scores in the final. We're talking about the most legendary comeback. You could say comeback in all sports.
Let's add this too. His first ever game for Brazil, his first ever goal at this exact same stadium where the final will be
exactly. The narrative, the story is already written.
Mm-hmm.
The story, the last 4 years that he's gone through has been written. We've seen it happen in live time. And so I definitely think if Neymar has this last World Cup, you can say whatever you want. I do not care. He will be the greatest player in Brazil's history because we're considering who he's played with, what he's gone through, what era he lives in, and also the fact that if we're talking, okay, Pelé in 58 had a good World Cup. In 62, he didn't even play the final. In 70, okay, he won the World Cup. He assisted in the final. But I still think that if we're talking about who we're playing with, the era we live in the context of everything, I think Neymar is the greatest of all time.
Can I add something? But Pedro, yes, he's going in this World Cup, and yes, these things can happen, and I hope to God they do. But Neymar's not going to this World Cup with the same role that he's had in previous World Cups.
Of course.
Do you think that plays a major impact? He won't be looked at as the main guy. You know what I mean? He's not going to have the same captain role. He's not going to have the same, I'm the guy role. At least in my opinion, he's not. Do you think that makes a difference?
He's not going to have the captain role, but he's going to have the aura. He's going to be the leader of the dressing room. I don't think there's any doubts about that. I think Neymar is playing with an entire generation of players who admire him, an entire generation of attacking players like Vini, like Rafinha, like Luis Enrique, Ryan, Endrick. Talking about a generation of players that have looked up to this guy forever. And
he's going to be respected.
I think it's very clear.
Respected. The guy's respected.
Exactly.
And I will say, having a guy like Neymar, when he's your idol and stuff like that,
dynamic.
It makes you want to fight harder. I feel you know what I mean.
Exactly.
I feel just like they did for Messi. The gas tank.
Just like they did for Messi. Just like they do for Ronaldo. The difference that he makes is not only how he plays, but what he stands for. What he stands for all these kids that dreamed of playing with him one day. And I'm telling you right now, every single Neymar game in the World Cup, the players from the opposing team are going to fight to the death for his shirt. After the games, watch as you see 10 players from the other team run to get his shirt.
Let me say something about that. Two things I want to say. First, I saw something today, which was crazy. Neymar hasn't played for Brazil for over 3 years now. And I saw, I don't know if it was a tweet or a video. Someone said that for a lot of the younger generation, this is going to be their first game, or like this World Cup's going to be their first time seeing Neymar even play in a Brazil shirt. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me. He has impact on multiple generations. It's insane. It's insane to me. Another thing I was going to say, I had made a tweet 2 or 3 days ago. I believe one thing that will help us at the World Cup, Neymar will get the Messi whistle. Now, what I mean by the Messi whistle, when someone touches Messi,
I hope
it's an immediate foul. We know what happened in 2018. He turned into a meme. Did I think that was fair to him? Maybe not. I mean, there was a few exaggerated moments, but he was getting touched. You know, it wasn't him not getting touched. There were certain times where he could have stayed up and continued playing, but I do believe he has such a big impact. And now I'm seeing edits, 1.8 million likes, 2 million likes, 600K on random pages. He has such a big impact on the footballing world today, and people are seeing his comeback story. And I think he's going to have a huge impact. They're going to treat him like, I don't think people care about Ronaldo like that. Not to disrespect Cristiano like that. I think the story of Portugal is the complete squad they have. The Bruno Fernandes, the Vitinha, João Neves, Nuno Mendes. Their story is a complete squad. The story of Brazil is the Last Dance.
You know why Neymar gets treated like that, and Cristiano might not. It's because Neymar has a more relatable story. Neymar has a much more, let's say, appealing story to the common person, because he's somebody who was second. He's somebody who was second here. He's like I'm not gonna say the Kevin Durant, but like, because the whole, I've been second my whole life. But we're talking about the prince who could have became king. We're talking about somebody who looks at or represents the whole fail potential. We're talking about somebody that's much more appealing to the masses than Messi and Ronaldo ever were, because Messi and Ronaldo, their numbers were insane. Their numbers were absurd. Their numbers are out of this world. We're talking about more games than goals. We're talking about more assists than goals. We're talking about 91 goals in a calendar year. People like that, and people are like, oh, cool. But look at this guy. Look at the way he plays. The way Neymar plays is more attractive. The setbacks he's had are just much more emotionally. You want this guy to win because of what he's gone through. You want this guy to win because of everybody that doubts him. You want this guy to win because he's been second, because he's never won the Ballon d'Or. Everybody wants Neymar to win the Ballon d'Or. That's what people need to realize. If you do not live in Portugal, if you do not live in Argentina, you want this guy to win, dude. Like, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the biggest product of the World Cup, because he plays on the team with 5 stars. Bro, I'm sorry, but last thought. The two biggest narratives of this World Cup is either Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup trophy or Neymar's World Cup trophy, and it could be Neymar's World Cup trophy.
Bro, I honestly think that like people in Argentina like respect Neymar a lot too.
100%.
Surprisingly,
dude,
bro, like when he went, I forgot who they were playing, but
San
he
Lorenzo.
got so much respect.
Yeah.
Who was it?
San Lorenzo.
Yeah, bro, so much respect. The people there loved him, bro. Like, I was honestly surprised to see. They probably love him more than the Brazilians love him himself.
Yeah,
100%.
I want to wrap things up with Neymar, and we'll move on with the rest of the squad. Last things I want to say about that. I have a few things to say. What something for me, I don't want to like make this like an announcement or whatever, however you might say in English, but what people have done with the Brazilian jersey, the jersey itself, where if you're wearing the jersey, you support one side. I'm talking politics here, and if you support Neymar, you support one side. It's absurd. It's so silly. It's
I
like
support football.
Yeah, and it's like for any American fans watching, it's like me wearing a USA jersey so I support Trump. That's the things that's happening in Brazil, and it's just disgusting to me that a lot of people want to Neymar out just because he supports one side of. Bro, I support Brazil. Brazil. If Brazil wins this World Cup, it's going to be huge. It's going to bring the country together, hopefully. And one other thing I want to say about Argentina supporting Neymar, it's to the point where if Argentina get knocked out, the entire country is going to support Brazil. Like, as much as they hate Vinny, as much as they hate Vinny, as much as they hate these other players in our squad, they're going to support Neymar. Let's move on from Neymar. There's another big story in this call-up. Jared mentioned it. I want to ask John first. John, you're a big João Pedro guy. What do you think about him being left out for a guy like Igor Thiago? I think all the other names on that forward list was probably locked. Maybe Hanya, but Hanya had to go with Esteban Rodrigo out. John, what do you think about João Pedro getting left out?
All right. So compared to a guy like Igor Thiago, me and Pedro did talk about this, and I don't think he should have been in the squad instead of Igor Thiago. I think Igor Thiago should be here, but I think if you want to like put guys like Gabriel Martinelli and like Hyan, he's been killing it at Bournemouth, but I don't think Martinelli should have made the squad.
That's so
I think
crazy.
João Pedro, honestly,
bro.
and you
That's
know
so
what I
crazy,
think? You
bro.
know what I think? Which I wouldn't even been mad. No Lucas Paquetá. Put Cunha as a midfielder and bring in another striker. Why not? Bro, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but like 2 years ago, man, I think it was during the Copa America, or I don't know when it was, but there was a thing that Brazil had no number 9s. Wasn't that a thing for like a while? Like Brazil had no strikers.
Well,
like all we had was like Richarlison and Pedro. Was that not a thing?
Yes, but here's
22.
Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing, right? Vinny's gonna play up top. We're about to get to the lineup builder. We're gonna do a little thing. It's an activity. Vinicius, he's probably been the lock to be our number 9 since Ancelotti got hired. He played that role under Ancelotti at Real Madrid, so he's gonna take up that spot with Cunha behind him. And so, okay, Cunha and Vinny, they're not both playing striker. They're interchanging. You know what I mean? We'll have Rafinha on the left side, Luis Henrique on the right side. If you're John, you saying that Martinelli does not belong in the squad is crazy. Martinelli is one of the best and this sounds crazy for me to say. Martinelli is one of the best defending wingers we have, and that's what Ancelotti needs. He needs wingers that are willing to run up and down the field. Rafinha does the same exact role. There's certain people that don't like Rafinha for Brazil. I don't know why. Rafinha coming up to the 2022 qualifiers, he was our best attacker outside of Neymar. So Rafinha left.
Yo, can
João Pedro. No,
I ask you though?
One second. João Pedro cannot play that. People were saying, "Oh, João Pedro could be Vinny's backup." No, he can't. He can't be. We have to call up Endrick. And João Pedro's not playing the left wing. He can't. He can't run all the way down, all the way back up. He doesn't fit that role of what we're trying to do with the squad. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Yo, but let me ask you something, right? And I just yes or no, or okay, who would Gabriel Martinelli replace in the squad? And just give me one person, and we know who it is. Vinny, right?
No.
Vinny.
No. It's
Who?
not.
Who?
Rafinha,
Oh, bro, dude, come on.
Rafinha's playing the left side.
Bro, Martinelli is not. No,
Oh,
bro. I don't think Rafinha. I don't think.
Hold on.
Bro, okay. That's if we're doing that as a starting lineup. That's if we're doing that. But for example, Pedro.
No, it's been guaranteed.
Pedro.
John, it's been.
It's not been guaranteed. Nothing's been guaranteed.
It is.
Bro, we
it
didn't even
is.
know what Neymar happening with Neymar. Bro,
I promise
me and Pedro even talked. Pedro thinks Neymar and Endrick are both going to be in the starting lineup. We don't know what the starting lineup's going to look like. We have no clue.
That could
and
happen.
Bro,
If
Rafinha.
Go ahead, bro. I'm
All
sorry.
right, if Rafinha is not playing on the left, if Vinny's playing on the left, then Gabriel Martinelli is going to be a sub for Vinny. And realistically, bro, in a World Cup match, we get 5 subs per game in an extra sub in extra time. I don't think we're using a sub at all on Vinny. I think we're going to use the subs on other players that need to get subbed.
1 second. Ignore the little lineup here. Before we get back to this argument, Jared, as a USMNT guy here, what do you think about João Pedro getting left out? Do you think João Pedro's a better footballer than Igor Thiago?
I think every Bournemouth fan would 100% rather take João Pedro over Igor Thiago. 100%. Like, I think Igor Thiago is just. I think João Pedro's just
He knows
better
ball,
at
bro.
everything.
He knows ball.
I think João Pedro's just better at everything. I also don't think Igor Thiago is as good as a lot of people are making it out to be. Like, he's a good goal scorer, yes, but he's not that great in the air. He's not a great hold-up player, and he's just not as good as on the ball as João Pedro. And when Igor Thiago plays for Bournemouth, he is the focal point in that attack.
Brentford.
For Brentford, I'm sorry, yeah. When does play for Brentford, he is the focal point in that attack.
So Jared,
Is he gonna be the focal point in this Brazil squad? Like, absolutely not.
yeah, Jared, let me ask you. So here's the thing, right? João Pedro and Igor Thiago are completely different profiles. That being said,
Yeah.
did I think Igor Thiago deserved the call up? No, I think he scored one penalty goal and showed emotion, which is good. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna call up a guy purely based on emotion, call up Richarlison. You know what I mean? That being said, I believe personally we should have called up the top joint goal scorer in the Europa League, Igor Jesus. He's the better Igor in my opinion. He fits what Ancelotti wants. He's a better. He's probably the exact same profile as Igor Thiago, a little bit different, but you can cross the ball into the box to him. He can hold up play. He played in the 2 games he played against City this year. What are we laughing at?
Look at John, bro. John.
Bro, I rather poop from my backyard than Igor Jesus, bro.
Igor Jesus
That's dust. That's dust.
Igor
That's
Jesus
dust.
had 2 great
Dust.
games. No. Igor Jesus had 2 great games against Man City. What are we talking about here? We're talking about a great striker.
Honestly, bro, I'd rather him over Martinelli. But I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have to ask you this. I really have to ask you this. All right, let's assume this is a starting lineup. Which, honestly, in my opinion, I think Endrick or Neymar is in a starting position of Luis Enrique. Not in that spot, but I don't think Luis Enrique is a starter. But that's not a topic. If Martinelli gets subbed on for Vinny, right? If Vinny is a replacement, or Martinelli is a replacement for Vinny, out of the 5 subs that we have in the 90 minutes, you think that's going to be one of Ancelotti's subs? Martinelli for fucking Vinny Jr.
Yes.
When we
Yes.
need other...
Brother,
Yo,
can you not watch...
Pedro, please back me up, bro. Do you think
hold
that's
on.
going to be used?
No, time out, please. Did you watch the last World Cup or no? John, you saw what Martinelli did against Cameroon. You saw what he did against Cameroon, which is a great squad, by the way. National team. When you talk about national teams, you have to respect every African national team, because they play together. They play together. Look, you're complaining about the lineup, but Sportive today, they confirmed that the quartet that's going to start at the World Cup, that is Ancelotti's plan. He even told Neymar was Rafinha, Cunha, Luis Enrique, Vinicius. Luis Enrique has to start. He is. I've never seen a player who's that good physically while also being a great dribbler. Never. That's why I call him the reincarnation of Gahisha. He's that good. He's that good.
I don't mind this lineup at all.
Listen. Just hear me out real quick. People don't know. John, I know you know who Luis Enrique is. Obviously, you know who Luis Enrique is. But a lot of maybe American fans who are getting into the sport, even a lot of people in Europe, they remember Luis Enrique at Betis for a little bit, but they don't know who this guy is. David Ancelotti, Carlos' son, who's going to be his assistant, said Enrique's the X factor. He's the X factor of this team. So you cannot drop him. Cunha is probably the glue, the mold to this team, in my opinion. Now I heard Pedro says that Endrick and Neymar will start. We'll get to that. Rafinha, at this point, maybe, even though I'm a huge Rafinha fan, even over Vinicius. I prefer Rafinha over Vinicius. I think if you're going to start Endrick, you have to drop Rafinha, put Vinicius to the left, and then put Endrick up top. But that being said, back to the João Pedro thing, because we got so far away from it. I don't think João Pedro deserved the call-up. No, wait. I'm so sorry. He did deserve a call-up. In my squad, would he make the 26-man roster? No, he would not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, but can I ask you? Okay, if you were Carlo Ancelotti right now, right? Let's go into the mind, and you had to use 5 subs, right? What are your 5 subs going to be, Chris? I want you to answer this.
5 subs.
If you say Gabriel Martinelli,
Listen.
Gabriel Martinelli, let's just say we're down 1. We're down 1 versus England. 60th minute. 5 subs. 5 subs.
All right.
Dude, if you say Martinelli, I'm gonna throw my monitor off my roof.
So listen. All right, listen. So this is the starting squad. All right. I think we can all agree Weverton shouldn't be there. It's probably gonna be Alisson. But can we agree this will be the starting squad before we make the subs?
Yeah, sure.
And if we kept it like this, and we need a goal, Luis Enrique's probably a little bit more tired, right? So here's what I'm doing personally. I'm hooking Guimarães. I'm gonna put in Danilo because he can crash into the box. That's something we would need if we're down a goal. All right, you hook Enrique because he's on tired legs. So you move Rafinha to the right wing, you put Vinicius to the left, and then you keep Neymar and Cunha. I would sub in Neymar for Luis Enrique. You keep Neymar and Cunha for a little bit, exchanging, doing whatever, playing like they're going to be flowing. And then at some point, if the goal doesn't come, you put in Endrick. You're only using 3 subs. And Ancelotti's not going to use all 5 subs unless we go to extra time. He's not using all 5 subs. No.
Yeah, but it's 5 subs. It's 5 subs in the 90 minutes, and then an extra sub in extra time. And I'm not gonna lie, if we're down 1, I think he's gonna use 1 or 2 subs on the defense. I would not be surprised if Bremer gets put in Wesley, because Wesley would be playing more as that wing back.
Why would Bremer get subbed on? That'd be a waste of the sub.
Because they would maybe want a 3-back, especially if Wesley needs to play up when we need a goal. I would not be surprised.
Ibanez.
No, I disagree.
Even him.
I disagree because Ancelotti's never played a system with like 3 center backs like that. So I could be wrong, but I mean I would put in Wesley.
He might have to in this World Cup, dude, with what we got back there. Maybe even Lil Pereira, bro.
Maybe what I would do is I would sub off Ibanez for Wesley. Let Wesley go up to this. Let me move it. Like let's say this is Wesley instead of Ibanez. And then you're not moving into a 3-back, but you have Gabriel and Marquinhos, and then you sub in Joao Pereira, but then Wesley's obviously dropping back. But then you also have Casemiro who comes in here as the right back. So, I mean, like, he's not going to play. Here's the thing. With the 4-2-4 that Brazil has ran, ever since Chichi, we've done this where we only keep 3 in the back. And we were going to do that regardless with Militão. But we're not playing a 3 in the back. You know what I mean? So there's no need to sub in a Bremer. You have your Gabriel, your Marquinhos, who are obviously 2 trustworthy center backs, and then that left side is that side that comes in, and then you have Casemiro who can take up all the space right there. But
do you think there's a chance Igor Thiago starts?
No, he shouldn't.
No.
Bro, he should. To be honest, he shouldn't even see the field, in my opinion. But
he's just a backup plan. He's somebody to have a variety in the starting 11 because you need a target man. I know you could have picked Igor Jesus, but I think the numbers that Thiago's producing, it'd be hard to not call him up.
Yeah, but João Pedro's better, bro. Better.
All right.
Who would you rather put, Chris? João Pedro or
you want to know?
Thiago?
They're different profiles, bro.
Yeah, but if you need to put in a striker, who are you putting in?
Do you want to know why João Pedro didn't get called up? Do you want to know the real reason? Or at least what I think.
Because, bro, Ancelotti's racist, bro.
All right, bro. All right.
His
We have mostly black
Vinny.
people in our squad.
His favorite player is Vinny, by the way. But, yeah.
Dude, when we're talking about João Pedro, what I was actually thinking about today was when we had the March international break against France and Croatia. There was a training session, and they released a clip of João Pedro 5 yards away from an open goal and missing a pass.
I posted that.
And you know who was watching that practice? And you know who? And I don't know if you guys also seen that clip of Rivaldo and Ronaldo phenomenon watching the practice, with I'll probably I'll probably clip this and put the clip below so whoever's watching this know what I'm talking about. But dude, when I told you guys earlier that Ancelotti's a players manager, when he's talking to players trying to get a recommendation on who should start and who should get preference, what do you think they said about João Pedro? Do you think they said, oh, he scored against Fluminense at the Club World Cup? Oh, he scored against PSG at the Club World Cup? They only care about who they care about in the team. Ancelotti is going to have his opinions on certain players. Like, he was like, all right, Endrick did so well, there's no way I can leave him out. And so, another thing, João Pedro is not competing against Igor Thiago. Igor Thiago is competing against Igor Jesus and Pedro from Flamengo. Why? Because they're taller, and they like to stay in the box, and they're poachers. They're target forwards. João Pedro, like I sent John this video the other day. He is competing with himself. He lost his own spot. I know he was just voted Chelsea's player of the season, but we're talking about a player with 0 international goals. Talking about 0 national goals for the team.
I have a question. You think Chelsea posted that the next day on purpose? The season hasn't even ended.
100%. Why wouldn't they? Dude, you know how good PR is for your best players to play at the World Cup, or for your players to play at the World Cup? It's amazing PR for your team, because if João Pedro has a good World Cup, you have more Chelsea fans. João Pedro had a good Club World Cup, and then here we are with John wearing a João Pedro shirt. Like, that's just how it works, dude. Like, oh.
Yo, wait, low key, yo, Chris, can I ask you? I do. I mean, he has the same player profile, in my opinion, as kind of Cunha does.
He does
to a certain extent.
But
and I would pick Cunha over him. But yo, Chris, let me ask you this. This is the lineup, yes, but okay. Could you see a world, because these fullbacks, in my opinion, just look so weak and so bad? Do you see a world where, like, instead of having Luis Enrique, right?
Luis Enrique's not getting dropped. Luis Enrique's not getting dropped. Get that out of your mind.
I think he should be like a power sub, man.
No, he's amazing.
Imagine him and Endrick.
I agree.
Him and Endrick together. Oh, dude, that's like Ninjago, bro.
I agree. Luis Enrique. The reason why I rate him so highly is because he has been coming off the bench. But if you give him 60 minutes, he's going to come up with something magical. All he needs is 60 minutes.
This team defensively looks
really
Endrick. Bad, man. It's not looking good defensively, man. I don't like it. We need to put Casemiro needs to play like CDM, dude.
He is playing CDM.
He
is playing CDM in this formation.
Yeah.
But like, for example, if we put like Casemiro drop more down a little bit, and then Bruno Guimaraes with Danilo, like, you wouldn't like that? Like, is that not something you would like?
John,
midfielders?
John, here's the thing, right? Ancelotti said it's not the team who scores the most goals who's going to win the World Cup. It's the team who's going to concede the least amount of goals. You don't have to worry about listen. You don't have to worry about the defense or the midfield. You don't have to worry about that. We're not going to concede. No, I'm saying this. We conceded 2 against France. We lost 2-1. We conceded 2 against Croatia, right? Or did we concede 2, or was it just 1?
1.
We won 3-1. Yes.
That was Bento's fault. That was terrible, dude. That was bad. I was at the game, dude. When I saw that, I like freaked out. I was like, what did I just like? What are you doing? But I think we're conceding against Haiti, bro. I think we should let Haiti score a goal. I already said that before. Haiti, we're gonna let them score.
But whatever happens with the defense, it doesn't really matter, because let me share this real quick with you guys.
Jared, bro, who do you think's right? Me, right? João Pedro should have went, right?
It's.
Yes.
Who cares?
Honestly, like, Pedro.
Who cares about João Pedro when you have these 4 players?
And Luis Enrique and Ryan and Cunha.
And Ryan, bro. Ryan's insane. Bro, Ryan's actually insane.
You think he'll play? Do you guys think he'll play?
Yes, Ryan will play, yes. And I
think he'll play.
I was a big hater. Of Ryan. Like, I have multiple tweets dating back like a year or 2 talking about how bad Ryan is, but he proved me wrong, man. So, but bro, look at
I do remember that, but you're not scared to admit it. You were not scared to admit it.
I think this 4 should start.
Bro,
I think these 4 should start up
this
top.
photo, let's talk about this photo real quick. That is maximum aura, dude. Bro, by the way, the jersey is amazing. With the white shorts, too.
Dude,
oh, my God.
Clean. That's so clean, dude.
No.
What do you
mean? If I wanted...
What do you mean?
If I wanted to play...
That's so clean.
What What do you?
Ancelotti called me up, but I just didn't want to be there in the picture. But dude, guys, I don't know. I just feel like these 4 guys starting the team defensively will look bad. Like Jared, let me ask you from an outside perspective, looking at our defense, what are your thoughts, man? Like, be completely honest. Like, bro, if you look at Portugal, have you seen Portugal's team on paper? Like, dude, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Portugal
beautiful,
had
man.
a good team on paper until they lost to Morocco's, bro. Like, come on.
I know Roberto Martinez is their manager, who's god awful. I don't know. I think I look at Brazil's team and I feel like this is a team that is gonna, in my opinion, is gonna need to outscore their problems. I think, especially when I feel like that was the biggest problem with 2022 and 2018, right? Where you didn't have a defensive mid, right? Casemiro was old in 2022, right? And
He's older now.
Really was. He's even older now. He's your only defensive mid, right? Because Fabinho's not starting.
Fabinho,
Yeah, Fabinho's not starting. And he's going to come on in place of Casemiro. Fabinho's not as good as Casemiro. And in this era of football that we're playing, that defensive mid is so important because that midfield's just going to get overran, right? And especially against a bigger team later in the tournament, I am worried. Now, luckily, I don't think there are many strong attacks at this World Cup. Surprisingly, really just France and maybe Spain.
You can't even say Spain anymore.
So,
because it's going to be.
Yeah, I can't even.
It's going to be
Nico Williams. Yeah.
Is Nico Williams going to be in a tournament or what?
England isn't bad.
Exactly.
England is not bad at all.
England's not bad, but I think
England's
they're
always
not
good
as...
England's always good until they get tested. England's always
Chris,
good on paper until they get tested.
Bro, with that lineup that you showed, we're gonna have trouble versus England.
Can I say something?
We're gonna
real
have
quick?
trouble.
Can I say something real quick to both you, John and Jared? If we had this exact this quartet right here, and then we had Bruno Guimarães, Casemiro, and then our defense, we're okay, bro. The reason why Barca haven't conceded more goals is because Rafinha's such a runner. He's a runner. He's gonna defend. Endrick for Lyon. This guy's playing CDM and carrying the ball and scoring. So Rafinha and Endrick are already there. They're going to be pressing. They're going to, bro. Honestly, my only issue right now is Vinicius Jr. How is he going to act? I don't know. I've had multiple tweets me complaining about Vinicius Jr. not pressing for Brazil. You're not Neymar, so press. We'll see how that happens, but we'll see what happens with that. If these 4 right here started, I'm not worried about our defense at all. And sorry, Jared. And playing with Neymar is playing with one less guy. Just like Argentina did. Argentina in 2022, they played with one less guy. Yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah. This is kind of a dumb question because I forgot that Ancelotti's in charge. But I guess I'll phrase it in this way. Would you guys be open to, let's say Vinny doesn't have a great group stage, right? He's not that great, doesn't get involved with many goals, isn't pressing that well.
Get him out.
Is there a world where you bench him? And
do
you think it's actually better for the team if Vinny gets benched if he's not 100%. Scoring?
Bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a rat's ass. I want that World Cup here, bro. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. If Ryan has to play, yeah. Bro, if João Pedro needs to get called up from the suburbs, I don't care. I need that Hexa, bro. Hexa, whatever the hell it's called. I want it, whatever. I want it. I want it bad. I want it bad.
Wait. Time out. John, I have a question. John, I have a question for you, dude. Because before we started recording, your Portuguese is perfect. You're speaking to your family. And now, on the stream, you can't speak Portuguese anymore. What's going on?
Bro,
because
you guys already made me really mad about this João Pedro shit. I think João Pedro should be a starter on this seleção. I think he should be a starter. Okay, not a starter. Not a starter. I don't think that'll ever happen. But I don't know, guys. This attack just really worries me. To be completely honest, with the defense that we have, it worries me. Neymar's not playing defense. Rafinha, he goes back a little bit, but that's why I think Cunha should not get dropped. I think Cunha has to be in the starting lineup regardless.
Of course.
Go ahead, Pedro. Go ahead.
Let me show you. I really like to show you guys what I have here. Let me just.
Does it let you share?
Yeah.
Let me stop sharing then. Jared, quickly to talk about what you're saying. You know my opinion on dropping Vinny, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Okay, you guys can see this. All right. So when we're looking here, I think when we're looking at Ancelotti, we got to look at when he was successful, right? With Real Madrid. The last time he was successful, this is how he lined up, right? We have that 4-4-2 diamond, whatever. But this doesn't matter. What really matters is how he transitioned defensively. So we're looking at that 4-4-2 block, the most common block there is. And notice how we have that Bellingham and Vinny stay up front. This is when Vinny really came into the world as somebody who instead of defending the left flank like he did in 2022 when they won, in 2024, he stayed a little higher up. He had Valverde cover his role, or Rodrigo in that defensive block, especially when they played against Bayern, when they played against City, against better teams, even though I think Real Madrid was a better team. First off, the advantage that Ancelotti has is that despite him having the best players in the world, with Brazil or with Real Madrid, he's going to be looked at as the underdog against France, against Spain, against England, against Argentina. This is how he defended. So he had Bellingham and Vinny stay up. Vinny waited for the counterattacks. He had Rodrigo cover his flank.
One
Valverde cover his left flank.
One second. Pedro, I want you to. We have Vinicius there. Instead of Bellingham, you say who that player is. Who obviously is Cunha, right? But
So,
I want
exactly.
you to do that. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So what I'm getting to now is this is what I think Brazil should line up with everybody at 100%. We're talking about the same back line. Maybe, he wants to Joao Pedro here. The fullbacks are interchangeable. But when we look at the front four, we're looking at Rafinha in the middle. Why are we looking at Rafinha in the middle? Because at Barcelona, he covers the left side. And by covering the left side, Vinny always naturally goes wide on the left. When Rafinha goes on the left, he's more of an inside forward. All right? So we got that down. Neymar, when he's been playing for Santos, he plays more down the middle as that false nine, as we all know. Endrick can also play that striker position as well as the right wing position as he's been playing in Lyon. What's really, really important about this, though, is the defensive transition. This team, defensive transition, could look like this. These two can change, probably, since Vinicius will be on the left side. I think Neymar, he can use both feet. Vinny's more of a right-footed player, so he'd be cutting inside on the counterattacks. Rafinha needs to cover that left side, while Endrick covers the right side. This is key if we want our quartet, if we want our magical quartet to play in the World Cup. We need these two covering the flanks. We need Endrick to drop his ego as much as he's 18 and he's only playing with better players than him or more experienced players. We need him to drop into that right mid position in order to cover this right flank. Because if we're facing a France, if we're facing a Spain, he's covering Mbappe, he's covering Nico Williams, he's helping Ibanez have that 2-on-1 there. Whereas we're also looking at Rafinha, we're looking at that runner trait, and so on. I think this for me is our main thing that we're looking at when we're looking at the Brazilian team defending.
One opinion on this right here, honestly, if we were to play this and we were to shut up like that defensively, one thing I'm doing is I'm gonna put $100, $200 on Endrick to get a yellow card because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. This guy. One thing about him defensively is he's super reckless. But
Chris.
But 1 second. But what I did like was the fact that you basically covered up on what I was saying. Really, Endrick, Rafinha, they all die on the pitch. Rafinha dies for Barca.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Endrick was dying for Lyon.
And if we're looking,
I like that. I love that.
Yeah,
whatever that is.
That is actually true.
That's what I like. That's what I like. See, yeah, Matheus Cunha, he needs to be there. He has so much passion. Like when I watched him in the Croatia game, that guy was all over the pitch. Guys, Matheus Cunha is gonna be huge for the Citizen.
Of course he is. We need a workhorse. We need a workhorse forward.
And this is basically what we were playing against Croatia. Cunha was taking up that left side. He was defending on the left side.
Takes the right.
Yeah.
And then these two, Vinny covers his left side, obviously, and then Endrick covers the right side, waiting for that counterattack. And then, attacking, we have Endrick obviously up here, Vinny on the left. The thing I really like about Rafinha, or not Rafinha, but Matheus Cunha, is Matheus Cunha, like João Pedro, he is a forward that gets in between the lines. This is why I say the Cunha and João Pedro debate was really between them, and I think Cunha is clear. He had a better season at United and so on and so forth. But anyways, Cunha is very good at getting into the half spaces. When he plays on the wing for Manchester United, he is not an out-and-out winger. He is a winger who likes to get in the half space between the striker, between a possible fullback, or between anyone else. So he plays very well with that. He's also played the cam position a lot. He is another joker player that we have in the Brazilian national team. I think he's going to be key for us to win this World Cup. I also think Rafinha cutting inside here would help. I also think that maybe, if Ancelotti wants to try this in the two friendlies, which I think will be very important, we can have obviously Wesley overlapping here, and then Douglas Santos naturally being a very attacking player. He's probably going to want to underlap here for Vinny to stay out wide and take his man on one-on-one. Or if we see that doesn't work, he's getting pushed out too much, he's getting doubled, which I don't think he will be. He can also come inside. Douglas Santos takes the outside. And then here we just have a left-footed center back here. We have Casemiro that can fit in the pockets. And then we have a very structured team. Cunha would definitely not mind dropping back and, covering extra spaces, picking up the play here. Rafinha, I don't think would either. And I think we'll have a very good team.
Yo, I think Casemiro would be on the side that Wesley's on, whatever side Wesley's on, because Wesley goes up more and Casemiro will fill that role.
Exactly. I mean, I think Casemiro is a very good midfielder because he can cover a lot.
Do you guys see a world where Lucas Paquetá starts over Matheus Cunha? I wouldn't be surprised. Even Danilo, guys, we're sleeping on these guys. We really are. Like, I don't know, guys. We don't know what Ancelotti's thinking, bro. Italian cigarettes. We don't know.
If he needs the 8, he's playing him. But if he doesn't, he's not.
Jared.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with Pedro. I think unless he needs an 8, maybe to slow down the game, I think Paquetá can do that role. But if you're playing with four attackers, I think the pecking order does go Cunha, Neymar, and then Paquetá.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys. What do you think Ancelotti is going to try against Panama, against Egypt? I think against Panama he's going to try Neymar out. I think it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Posted it today. I think that's the plan. I think it was ESPN who posted it. The plan is to start Neymar against Panama, test him out, see how he is physically. But he has that injury going on or whatever, so we'll see how he recovers.
What's up with that? Because John texted me. I was like, wait, what happened? I couldn't find anything on it.
I didn't read too much into it, but it looks like CBF has a plan to get him fully healthy before that Panama game.
He's not playing. He's not playing for 11 days. So I think we should be good by then.
That'll be fine.
It's 11 days.
Brazil's first game is.
Is it
the Panama?
It's
Panama game.
days.
Yeah, it's in 11 days.
Yeah.
31st.
But I think we're gonna finally see what the backup center backs are gonna be. If it's gonna be Bremer, Léo Pereira, honestly, I'm excited to see what they put on defense, because Marquinhos and Gabriel are both gonna be absent of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
So,
I think
forgot about that.
Bremer and Léo Pereira. Léo Pereira being a left-footed center back is non-negotiable. I think the only other contender for his position was Murillo, from Nottingham Forest. But I think Murillo being 5'9" and not playing most of the season really makes it unattractive for a pick, especially because this is what we're talking about. So I think the main theme with Ancelotti's call-ups are he's only calling up the players that haven't played in a long time, have injuries, and so on and so forth, when they are different, when they are exceptions, when they are your Neymars, when there are players of that caliber. When we're talking about Murillo hasn't done much for the national team, unfortunately. He's an amazing player.
Terrible, actually.
Exactly, but Alexander Ribeiro.
Don't judge. Don't judge Murillo for that Argentina game.
Okay.
No. I think it was Japan, bro. So bad.
Fabrizio Bruno.
That was Fabrizio Bruno.
Oh yeah, I hate him. I hate him so much. Oh,
but anyways,
my fault.
Exactly. No, don't worry about it. So what I'm trying to say here is Ancelotti's players that he's trusted to take into this World Cup that have had an injury background or haven't played much are the ones that he has to trust, are the ones that the players trust, are the ones that have had experience, who have won something with the national team. And I think Neymar's really the only big example here. Whereas if you're looking at Alexander Ribeiro from Lille, left-footed center back, very good center back, injured for most of the season, so doesn't get called up. Murillo, same case, left-footed center back, very good, doesn't get called up. We're looking at any other examples. Yeah, exactly. So, but also Alisson. Alisson was injured for most of the season, but got called up because he's been with Brazil for a long time. And so I think that's very important to realize. That's very important to have here. And I think João Pedro being doubtful for the World Cup, I think that's also a very big part to why he wasn't called up, because, well, you're putting all your chips on a player who just got injured over the weekend. Okay, he might be fit. Okay, perfect. But then what if he gets a training injury? Then what happens? You're betting on a player who has 0 national team goals, who was the number 9 in the last international break. That doesn't look good whatsoever. And so that's a PR disaster for Ancelotti. That's a PR disaster for the Brazilian national team. And I think Endrick was a much safer option. I think Cunha was a much safer option. I think Neymar is the option to pick for the World Cup.
One thing I want to add to that, and John, no disrespect here, I think Brazil have moved on from the number 9 who doesn't score goals. And in that category, add Gabriel Jesus, add
Firmino.
Firmino
never got a big shot at the Seleção.
Richarlison, I have to add Richie there too, even though he scored a couple World Cup goals. But these are 9s that when push comes to shove, they're not scoring goals. Endrick, how many clutch goals has Endrick had already? He had that one against
5.
Against
5. I'll tell you because I made a video on this.
Yeah,
I know this. Mexico, England, Spain, Croatia, or clutch performance against Croatia, and I think it was only those 4. Actually, I think I was wrong. But still, that's 4 more than João Pedro has for Brazil. That's
all right, bro. I don't care, bro. He's comparing João Pedro to Charleston. Like,
no, okay, but I'm talking about Endrick. No, I'm talking about Endrick.
All those goals, Pedro. Dude, I'm sorry, bro.
Pedro, do you agree that Richie would have been a better call-up than João Pedro too? In terms of he's familiar with Ancelotti. He has good vibes with the group.
Good vibes with the group. Oh, I'm sorry, but when you're talking about Richarlison and good vibes, I don't think.
Bro, Ancelotti is about vibes, bro. And he's familiar with Ancelotti.
Are we taking Richarlison to score a goal against Haiti and start with Ancelotti, bro? Like, are we being so dead ass, bro? Are we being dead ass right now? No,
if Chichi was still there, bro, yeah, I'm down.
I think
would have been fun to watch. It's a clip.
I think Ancelotti gave him his last chance in his first call up because he called up a lot of players that didn't necessarily perform well, but had a lot of experience in the national team. That was when Casemiro was actually a shock for a lot of people. That was when Richarlison was a shock for a lot of people. And so, I think he gave him that shot. I don't think he lived up to it. And we have to move forward. I think we have to find somebody new. And I think the perfect candidate is Endrick. Like I mentioned in my video, Endrick would literally start for any other national team. And I don't know why he's questioned for when we get to starting for Brazil.
Bro,
I think he would start for France.
He
would start for Spain.
Bro. I would have Endrick if
he wouldn't start for France.
He's so good though.
He wouldn't start for France.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
If Yamal
can. No, Mbappe's not. Mbappe's playing on the left. Mbappe's playing on the left just like he played in 2022, just like he tried to play in 2025.
So who do you play on the right? Who do you play on the right?
And Ancelotti wouldn't let him.
On the right?
For France?
Olise.
France, right is Olise. For right is Olise. Dembele's in the middle. Mbappe's on the left, and Endrick would be up top. Endrick is playing. Endrick is fitting into any national team.
Guys, I hope I'm wrong, but like Ibanez and like Douglas Santos, and then you guys want to play 4 attack versus France, bro. We're gonna need to put like 7 CDMs versus France. Respectfully,
bro,
guys,
we are gonna win.
We're gonna encounter some problems.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win games in transition, dude. It's just how it is.
Yeah. But what about a team just like France that's also a transition team? France is a transition team. How are we gonna face a transition team?
No, France is gonna dominate position against us. We saw it already happen.
They overloaded the midfield. Yeah, in that friendly they overloaded the midfield, and that's how
I think we had more possession in that game. Did we not? Or no, I don't think we did.
What?
I think they had more possession that game, right? I think they did.
100%,
I think second half.
Possession stats don't matter, especially when you go down. You hold the ball a little bit more, right? So it doesn't really matter what it ended up at. I think
Jared,
exactly,
let me ask you. Out of all the arguments you've heard, which one was the most logical? Out of all the arguments.
No, Endrick definitely, in my opinion, is like the guy to start for this team, in my opinion. But
I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't be mad, honestly.
I will say though, I'm just not high on Igor Thiago. I understand why you call him up. I'm just not high on him. So I would 100% still. I think João Pedro does have a spot in this in this setup, in my opinion, and I think he's just a better fit. I also, maybe you guys might think this is relevant. I think it's relevant. I think the Club World Cup last year being in the United States, this summer, another tournament in the United States. Like, I think that that could have something, to play. He's used to the pitch. He's had success in the
What are we
United
talking
States
about?
and the intensity.
João Pedro.
João Pedro.
Oh, come on now.
I agree.
I think that type of things matter.
I agree.
think those small things matter.
I agree with the argument, but yeah.
I'm not saying
But like I said, João Pedro was not competing with Igor Thiago for the spot. He was competing with Cunha, and he was competing with Endrick, and he lost both. Because
I
both
think
are
he's
clear.
better than Igor Thiago as a striker, though.
But yo,
Yes,
can
I
I
understand,
ask?
but we're talking about roles. We're talking about functions here. We're talking about
Yeah.
when we talk about the players that are selected. For example,
Yeah.
Ibanez is not competing with Wesley because Ibanez does a different role
Yeah.
than Wesley. Ibanez was competing against Eder Militão, but Eder Militão was injured. So when we're talking about strikers, we're talking about Igor Thiago, Igor Jesus, and Pedro are one category, and then the other category is João Pedro, Endrick, and Cunha. Whereas João Pedro and Cunha are a lot more
You can
similar.
add Neymar there too.
You could add
Even
Neymar.
though
there.
Exactly.
Neymar was a lock, yeah.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
what I also want to call out, I think it's very, very stupid when people say this, but when people are, oh, Martinelli took João Pedro's spot. I'm sorry, João Pedro's not a left winger. Martinelli's not a striker.
Yeah.
And so they do not play the
Yeah,
same
but we
position,
don't
so
need
that
another
doesn't
left
apply.
winger, bro. We already have like
Okay,
four left
okay.
wingers. We have like
No,
two
I
strikers.
disagree.
Well, I know, but
We only
but
have
you
one.
do
We
get
only
what I'm
have one
saying.
left winger. We only have one left
No.
winger.
Bro, Vinny, Martinelli,
Vinny's
Rafinha
not
can
a
play
left winger. Vinny's not a left winger.
He
Yeah, he is.
basically
Wait,
plays
wait,
left
wait,
winger
wait,
for
wait,
all
wait.
he games.
No,
Vinny's
he's
not.
not.
Winger.
He's not a left winger for the Seleção. He's not a left winger anymore. He's not a ponta anymore.
You think okay? So bro,
He's not a
so
striker.
Endrick can't start, bro. Okay, guys, if you guys think Endrick's starting, Neymar's gonna be on the bench. If you guys think Neymar's starting, then Endrick's gonna be on the bench. There's no
Hold
way
on.
I can
Pedro,
see
probably
both of them
happened.
starting.
Pedro, you had just shown us a lineup. You had Vinicius and you had Neymar up top.
Bro,
I had
Cunha is not
Vinicius
getting
on the
dropped.
defensive
Cunha
transition.
is not getting dropped. Cunha's
Not on the
getting dropped.
attacking transition. On the attacking transition, what happens is Vinny usually goes way far left, like he does for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But then when Real Madrid defend, then he takes up then they change formation, and then he's closer to the halfway line
For me-
where they can play either a long ball through the left or to the middle channel. He can get
Yeah.
to.
For me,
That's where he plays the best.
what I saw this last friendly was him and Cunha up top. He's not necessarily a left winger.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense too. Right?
Only in attacking that he is a left winger. Because we have other strikers. Because we have
last
Endrick,
friendly-
He
because we
doesn't
have
go
Neymar.
back on defense, bro.
Let's
That's what I'm trying to
no.
say. How-
Exactly.
No, but we had Martinelli starting on the left, and we had Vinny up top with Cunha. That's how.
I just don't think that's a good option. I don't think. No, I would much rather have Vinny on the left,
Bro,
taking
yeah,
one-on-ones
Vinny is
and
much
gravitating
stronger.
players to his position, while Rafinha plays on the right as the inside forward, just like how Rafinha plays at Barcelona, with Yamal on the right being the wide playmaker and attracting various players to get those one-on-ones, and then Rafinha, because of those players gravitating towards Yamal, he has the open space that he can run to. So then you have plays that have happened where Yamal attracts multiple players and then he's able to send a develop pass, or he's able to send a long ball to Rafinha, who's always open in that channel because he's fast enough to beat those players. So we're talking about player strengths here, and we're talking about what they could do. When we talk about that, Vinny's one-on-one ability comes to light. Vinny's pace ability comes to light, but also the fact that he can generate space for Rafinha to run into the channels.
Yeah, bro. He's one-on-one
Exactly.
guy, bro. If you look at all of Vinny's highlights, one-on-one. Now, if you think Neymar is gonna be starting, Vinny is gonna be starting, Rafinha is gonna be starting, Endrick's gonna be starting, you think all those guys are getting back on defense, bro? You think, bro, Mateus Cunha
Only
is not
Rafinha.
getting dropped
Only
in this
Rafinha.
lineup?
Only
You
Rafinha.
can already get Endrick or Neymar off.
How would it work?
And he on
No,
the right flank.
we need Mateus Cunha.
No, exactly. So
we all
Cunha
agree.
has to
he-
start. Cunha
Here's
does
what I
have
think.
to start.
I think the theme for our whole chat today is that the games against Panama and Egypt are really gonna matter. I think regardless of what we say here, until we see it in practice, because think about it, we haven't seen Neymar in 3.5 years playing the Seleção. We haven't seen Neymar play with Cunha. We haven't seen Neymar play with Endrick, which I'm very excited to see when that does happen. We've seen Neymar play with Vinny, Rafinha, Bruno Guimarães, Casemiro, like not the fullbacks and nothing. But what we need to see is this happening in practice. And I think Cunha, when the time comes, if he's fully fit, he's going to get his game time. He's going to earn his way through the squad just like Luis Enrique has, just like other players have over time.
John, I got a question for you though. I think you're very worried. You're worried about like in defense, right? That team, that four not having enough defensive prowess. At the same time, why are you so against Gabriel Martinelli being in that squad? Right? Because Martinelli.
One league goal.
No, I'm fine with that.
Bro,
I'm fine with that.
Bro, guys, I like him.
Is a great defensive
I
player.
like him. It's just my thing is, I don't think he's going to be used as a sub. That's just my opinion.
Dude, that's
Bro,
not
guys,
Martinelli.
we have five subs.
Bro. That's
Both
not
midfield.
true. That's not true, bro. That's not true. He's a great super sub. He adds legs. And if we're winning for sure, he's getting subbed on for Vinny. If we're winning, he's 100% getting subbed on for Vinny.
That lineup that you showed me, what I was trying to explain, that lineup that you showed me, right? You got Endrick that still needs to come on. Neymar still needs to come on, right? Fabinho's going to come on. Danilo's going to come on. And that leaves one more sub. You think we're going to use our last sub?
We're not using five subs, bro. Get it.
Okay, I think if Vinny gets injured, if Vinny gets hurt, we need
bro, I just need 4 that are guaranteed subs. I just need 4 guaranteed subs. And Gabriel Martinelli is not one of them, little bro. He's not. He's not going to play. He's not good, bro. He's dust, bro. He's dust. Bro,
you don't see the value in Martinelli.
Trossard starts over him. That's embarrassing.
Well, here's the thing. Arsenal, how Arteta plays.
I fucking hate Arsenal.
None of their attackers are good. Even Saka, who should be good, he's not good.
6 league goals, 7 league goals.
Martinelli has one.
Martinelli has 1 league goal in the Premier League, guys.
Is that his fault or no?
6 in the Champions League.
But he's got 6 in the Champions League.
In 25 games. I'm sorry, but 25 games and 1 league goal for a Brazilian spot is unacceptable.
I would never want that guy on the pitch, ever.
No,
Well, all right, so I'll tell you guys what I did in my lineup. I had, on my left side, I had Vinny and Luis Henrique. All right, he can cover both sides. On my right side, I had Raya and Rafinha, or it could be Vinny, Rafinha, Raya, and Luis Henrique. And I opened up space for an extra forward, to which I brought João Pedro. I think.
Yo, bud. Chris, you hear that? You hear that?
I think in that scenario, it's plausible to talk about Martinelli and João Pedro and how he took his spot. Because when you rework everything, I think that does work. But I also think that 1 league goal in 25 games for a defensive winger, I'm sorry, but the defensive winger gimmick, it has to stop. We have wingers, first off, to score goals. That's the main priority. And why do I say this? Because the club I support in Brazil, Cruzeiro, we had this winger called Wanderson. He's actually Belgian, but he's also Brazilian. But he scored, it took him, a year to score his first goal? We were playing very good because he makes the team work, because he hustles back on defense. But what happened is, you leave our striker, Caio Jorge, and you leave our attacking midfielder, Matheus Pereira, to score and create all the goals. You need a winger the first priority for a winger or a forward is to score or to assist. You don't have wingers to defend. That's what you have fullbacks for. That's what you have midfielders for. You can add another midfielder to cover and track back. But you don't use a winger for that.
I have an argument against that, though. Cunha is a striker, right? Or
that's what you use Cunha for.
Yes.
That's not what you use Martinelli for.
No, but your argument is that
because Cunha is dangerous offensively.
Hold on. Your argument is that forwards should score goals, right? But Cunha, after the Olympics, where he was the striker, by the way, even though he acted like he wasn't, he came out and said that people started calling me a number 9 because he went on a drought of goals for Brazil. So that argument, it's like
he can play everything, bro. Way better than Martinelli, bro. Martinelli poop.
Keep Martinelli out of this.
Bottom of the barrel.
Keep Martinelli out of this, but Cunha's in that same boat, dude.
No, but Cunha's proven himself to be a goal scorer and a chance creator. Cunha is better than Martinelli at scoring goals, at creating chances, and at tracking back.
That's not true. He's not better at tracking back.
That is 100% true.
He
literally has clips against Liverpool in the last minute of him tracking back. You haven't watched United this season. Bro, I'm sorry, but okay, but like as I'm saying, dude, when we're talking priorities, man, we're talking goal scoring and chance creation. If we need somebody to track back, we sub in Paquetá for one of the forwards, and then we play a 4-3-3. We play a 4-1-4-1 and isolate Casemiro in the middle. 1 league goal. This is what we're talking about. This is the pedigree
Yo,
of
this is your
Brazilian
boy,
forwards
bro.
we're
This is
talking
your
about.
boy. 28 shots, bro. I would have at least scored 5
3
out of those
assists.
28
Like I
shots.
said, like I
3
said,
assists.
like I said, this summer's Martinelli's leaving Arsenal. God willing, he'll go to Barcelona, but you're gonna see Martinelli
God
out.
willing, he's not, because they're not gonna afford him. They're not gonna afford him, dude.
Yeah, bro. They're getting
You
João
think he's
Pedro,
gonna leave the
better
Premier League
option.
champions and Champions League
Bro,
finalists to go
We're
work
not
for
real.
100K a week? He's
One
not.
second. If Barca signs João Pedro, they're gonna be set back another 5 years, dude. If they spend 100
You
million.
guys forget
on
how
him.
broke Barcelona is. You guys forget how broke Barcelona is. Like, you think they can just afford him?
No,
He just signed with the club. He has a contract until like 2029. Dude, Barcelona signed players on the free. I think you guys forget.
you know,
I think you guys forget. They still haven't
apparently-
paid Leeds. They haven't paid Leeds United for Rafinha.
apparently they have
They
100
haven't
mil.
paid Leeds
They
United
have
for
100
Rafinha.
mil aside this summer for a striker or an attacker.
Oh, stop, bro. That's
Allegedly.
so BS,
Yeah, it's a
dude.
joke, dude.
Don't
Alleg-
believe that stuff, bro. I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
Don't believe that, dude. Dude, that 100 million, dude, is not liquid. That 100 million, they're gonna pay back in 2035.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but no, that's not how Barcelona works. Barcelona, they haven't paid Leeds. They haven't paid various other clubs for their players. I'm sure you guys could look it up and find results. But what I'm trying to say here is, yeah, I understand that the Martinelli was, for me, out of all the forwards, was the pick that I was most putting an asterisk on, because Arsenal, okay, they've been performing well this season, but not because of their forwards. Their top goal scorer has 14 goals across all competitions. That's almost unheard of. When you look at other teams in Europe, Kane by himself has like over 30 goals in the Bundesliga. Diaz has more goals. Olise has more goals. You look at Barcelona, Rafinha has more goals. You look at all the other clubs. 14 goals for your top scorer is unacceptable. And I think any forward from that team, especially one that's playing for Brazil, is unacceptable. 1 league goal is unacceptable, dude. And 6 Champions League goals. Let's look. I would like to look at where these Champions League goals coming
But
from.
while you look,
No,
I
don't
wanna say
look. Don't
if-
look. Don't look.
Yeah,
No,
too
I'm
late,
gonna
too
look.
late.
I'm looking. No, I'm sharing
But
my
yo,
screen. Let me share my screen too.
I'm gonna say,
Hold on,
Chris,
I'm
that
sorry.
picture you showed of Vinny, Rafinha, Endrick, and
Let's
whatever his
have a
name
live
is.
reaction, dude.
If they all start, bro, USA's getting farther than us, dude. I'm sorry, dead real.
Okay,
Wait,
brother.
he scored
Okay,
against
okay, so
Bayern? I forgot about
Okay,
that game.
okay. So we're looking at a forward that has zero knockout goals. 1 goal against Kaira Almaty, 1 goal against Club Brugge, 11 minutes against Inter, 22 against Bayern. Oh, he scored a goal against Bayern. Okay, fair play. A goal against Athletic. Okay. A goal against Olympiacos and Athletic Club. Okay.
Pedro.
Okay.
Let's talk real quick.
No knockout goals.
Pedro, let's
no
talk real
knockout
quick.
goals.
Let's talk real quick.
No goals since when was the last goal he scored?
Probably versus
Okay,
Ipswich
friendly,
Town, bro.
friendly. The one that Endrick put on the plate for him. But when we're talking clubs, when was his last club goal?
Bro, that goal he scored for
Wigan
Croatia, it was
Athletic.
handed to him on a silver
Wigan
platter, dude. I would have scored.
Okay,
Pirate Almaty.
listen, Pedro.
Oh, a hat trick against Portsmouth. Okay.
Pedro.
Okay. Other than that, blank. He hasn't scored. Listen, he hasn't scored a Premier League goal in 2026. Okay. Let's go back to December. Club Brugge. Okay. His last Premier League goal. Dude, it's
2 goals.
City.
Two goals for Brazil.
No.
2 goals for Brazil.
1 Premier League goal.
More than João Pedro.
1 goal against Premier League.
Who cares, bro? I would
One
have scored
goal
that goal
for-
too, bro.
All right,
I'm sorry, but
Pedro.
no. But
Pedro,
okay,
Pedro.
Okay. So let's look at somebody else. Let's look at
No,
somebody else.
Pedro.
Anthony.
I
Let's
want
look at
to make a bet. I want to make a bet with you, Pedro.
Oh boy, I don't do bets, but all right, let's hear it.
If Martinelli scores in the Champions League final, you're gonna come back on the pod and you're gonna drink a raw egg.
He's not gonna play, bro. He's not gonna play.
He's not gonna
I'll drink a raw
play.
egg, bro. I'll do it without him, dude. Oh
All
my
right.
god, if he touches the pitch, I'll drink a raw egg.
You don't think he's gonna touch a
Touches the
pitch?
pitch.
You don't think he's gonna touch a pitch?
No, dude.
You're
Dude,
gonna
no,
score
bro.
first.
No, dude. No, bro. He's gonna be sitting next to all my European birds that are waiting for me to get there and take them out on dates. He's not
Brother.
gonna go anywhere, bro. Anywhere.
Brother, if Martinelli scores a UCL Champions League final goal, you're gonna get back on here and drink an egg.
Bro, that's fine, bro. That's fine.
Hey, be a man of your
Bro, what?
word.
He's not gonna score a goal, bro. He's not gonna score a goal. Dust, bro.
We'll see.
Dude, knowing how
Bro,
things are, I could well see him score a
Marquinhos,
goal.
top 5
so.
center back. Yeah,
But I
bro.
could also
I'm
see
telling
that
you, this
Champions
guy
League final
with
being
a
a
goal
blowout
is not
again.
scoring on a top 5 center back. So
All right, but when we're talking about Brazil, I think, regardless, I think one thing still stands. Brazil's never gonna have a bad team. I don't think. I think 2030. I think we have a good. We're gonna have a good core for that with Estevão, Endrick, Vitor Reis, Danilo, João Pedro, Cunha, and so on and so forth. I think now this new generation of Brazil looks definitely more promising than the last one, especially well, what Chris was saying earlier, the loser generation. And I think this team could get far. I think the only teams that I would consider to be any better than this Brazil side, probably France. I think no, definitely France, Portugal, and Spain. And Spain is I put an asterisk on Spain because Spain played different when Yamal doesn't play. And if Yamal doesn't come back or if he gets re-injured again, like it usually happens, players get re-injured, that does happen. I think Spain will be much weaker, and they are much more prone to getting knocked out by a Morocco, just like they did the last World Cup, by a Russia, which they did the World Cup before, or even going knocked out in the group stage with Xavi, Iniesta, David Villa, and their stacked team in 2014.
I see a lot of weaknesses in France actually, like with their midfield and their defense.
I do too, and I think
actually.
if Mbappe goes full Homelander, I think he could tear that club from or tear that national team from inside out. I think looking at Brazil, I'm very confident that we're not the absolute favorites. I think Brazil's last World Cups have come when we were absolute favorites, when we went through, we went through hell to get to the World Cup, like we did in '02, like we did in '94, and we pulled off heroics against in the qualifiers. We lost against teams that we've never lost before, and that's just how it is. I think a big part of the promotional campaign and the call up was I forgot. I'm pretty sure it was a commercial that every single World Cup there was a doubt. In '58, the Maracanazo of '50 just happened. This generation's not going to do it. They ended up winning. In '62, Pele's injured for the finals, not going to do it. '70, Pele's too old, he's not going to do it. '94, this team barely made it to the World Cup, they're not going to do it. In 2002, Ronaldo's leading the line, he can't do it, and yet he becomes a top scorer. That's the history of the Brazil national team. That's what makes us so special. That's why we have the 5 stars on the chest, is because every time that we're doubted against, we make it happen. And what I'm confident about this World Cup is that Ancelotti is a manager who's made it work with teams that we're not supposed to make it work. He made it work with the Real Madrid team in 2014, La Decima, he made it work. He made it work with the Real Madrid team in 2022. They said Benzema couldn't lead the line. They said Vini was a fraud. He made it work. In 2024, faced against Bayern, this is the best Bayern team in forever. He made it work. This is the best City team forever. He made it work. So I'm very confident that Brazil are going to have a great World Cup this summer. That's my final thoughts.
You said Brazil had doubts, but Brazil never had doubts like Gabriel Martinelli. I think that's going to be a big problem. Big problem.
Yo, I'm clipping this, bro.
But also, another thing. We should really wrap up because it's been 2 hours. Yeah. But I just want to say real quick, like, guys, I think England's gonna be scary because we'll be seeing them in the quarterfinals. Or is it? Yeah, it's the quarterfinals.
No.
Yeah, is it not?
No.
It depends how it works out. But
if England tops their group and we top our group, we're gonna see them in the quarterfinals. That's what it was. Because
England are tragic when it matters.
No, I don't think England are making it that far. It
is semis. It is semis. I posted it on my. It is quarterfinals. I'm so sorry.
It's quarters, yeah. No, anytime we face England, we beat them. It happened in '02. It happened. I think it mostly happened in '02. I don't think it happened in '66. But the last time we faced them, 2-1, Ronaldinho, and who else was it? Rivaldo.
They are a complete squad, though. Like they are more of a complete squad.
Stop. England when it matters, dude. England lost against Croatia. England lost against an Italy team that couldn't even qualify for the World Cup, dude. I'm sorry. Okay, they lost against the Spain team in the Euros. Okay, they lost against France in the World Cup. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But England are the most overrated national team in World Cup. In the World Cup. In the Euros, in the 2020 Euros, they made it to the final. They had a Mickey Mouse run. They drew 3 games. It was like a snooze fest. Their group stage was a snooze fest. Yeah. They faced easy teams, and they were able to get to the final, and they were able to choke it. They don't have the squad to do it. Bellingham's not in his best form. Palmer's not in his best form. Saka has 6 league goals. He's not in his best form either. Kane is the if all be all. Kane, Mainu, and that's it. They're carrying England.
I agree. I'm don't get me wrong. I'm the biggest England hater. Like there's the national teams I hate the most are Mexico, and then right above that is England. I hate both those national teams. Oh my god. But I do think England's a pretty bad matchup for Brazil, in my opinion.
Wait,
I
Jared,
just think
dude,
stylistically,
when it
matchup-wise,
matters, they don't.
I think
They're only
Tuchel's,
good on
like,
paper.
one of the only
They're only
man-
good on
He's also-
simulations. They're a what-if team.
That is fair. That is fair. I do think Tuchel's one of the only managers in the world that has consistently sort of outmanaged Carlo Ancelotti as well, which I think is kind of
2024, the
interesting.
last time they met, what happened? Kosovo twice. 88th, 90 plus 3. Oh, this is the best Bayern team in ages. Oh, this or oh, that. Ancelotti made it work. Ancelotti went to the Allianz Arena, and Vinny performed there. And Vinny will perform against Tuchel when they face.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
but they're
I
not
hope so,
fucking
but
waking me up
I-
tomorrow for work. Figure it out, guys. Rap.
Let me wrap it up here with this part right here. Look, Pedro, thank you so much for hopping on, bro. I would love for you to hop back on this pod. We're gonna be doing a lot of World Cup pods, not just Brazil.
Of course.
So we could talk about England. We could talk about all these countries we hate or whatever.
Hey, their call-up is on Friday, so.
Yeah, we could do a reaction to
about
that. Yeah. Pedro, shout out your Instagram one last time for the viewers who watched this far.
Yeah, my Instagram handle is Pedro Talks Football. Simple as that. TikTok as well. Yep.
Also,
Go ahead, John.
if you guys missed like in the 1 hour mark, yeah, Dove. If you guys want to sponsor us, I'll doing some ice cream.
Dude,
Sponsor us, get some World
I-
Cup tickets.
I took my face off the camera for a second. I was laughing at you eating that, man.
Dude,
You
I
took a-
started laughing.
You took a break. You took a break to eat some ice cream, man. What's going on with that? But
Yeah.
John, you want to shout out
Hey, boys,
your
appreciate your time. Thank you.
You want to shout out your user real quick?
I don't know my shit. I don't even know my shit. What is it,
Brazil
like,
team
Brazil
of John. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Brazil
gonna
team
change that,
W,
bro. That's
John.
dust. That's so dusty. That's so
Yeah.
dusty. I'm gonna change it.
And then
But
Jared,
yo,
John
I'm gonna
talks
just change
football,
it to
John knows
Martinelli
ball.
hater.
There we go. I love that. All right, boys. It's getting late.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate
Jared,
you guys.
wait. Jared's gotta say goodbyes, bro.
Oh yeah,
Jared-
sorry for coming hella late.
Half an hour
But
late.
hopefully that won't happen again. My apologies. Can't wait for the next